Switch thingy at E3.
No. It's got Chronicles X. That's what it's got.
Nah, but real talk though, the Wii U's trash.
We have to do it every time.
Every time.
It has to be known before every single podcast. Wii U was trash. Yeah, I love the Switch. Whoa, did I just say that?
Yeah,
I love mine too.
Look at that.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Are we
I
live?
think so.
We've
We're
been
live
this.
right now.
What's popping?
Are we live right now? Okay, so actually starting on time here. That's the best thing. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So?
All right. So let's start off with introductions really quick. Nightman, you go ahead and lead off.
Well, it's Nightmare Alpha, the man who doesn't do anything apparently. God damn it, I have to go back on video production. Anyway, I hope you enjoy what we have today because this is HPMP, the podcast with the most attractive people you can find on the internet. Except we have no Blandrew.
That's facts. Oh yeah, I had budget. Go ahead, Q.
Oh, I was just laughing, but I guess I'm tossed under the bus. I thought I'd be last though. But anyway, my name is Q. I am the editor-in-chief of thebuttonsmashers.com. It's a gaming news website that covers stuff, but I tend to cover the JRPGs, so I guess that's why I'm here.
You also make a lot of FIFA videos.
I make
great.
PES videos on my personal YouTube channel, not the website's YouTube channel. There's a difference. The website's YouTube channel
still.
different. So like PES, I'm a football fan. Who doesn't like football?
I don't say it's wrong. I just wanted to mention it.
Thank you.
It's like, come on. I'm from Germany. I know that soccer is everywhere. So
It's good. It's good. You're watching the World Cup then?
not me personally, but
Go ahead, Pin. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Saw dudes. It's your boy Pinstripe. And I'm trying to start making JRPG videos. I'm lazy, so that doesn't really coincide well. But I have been streaming some JRPGs as well on Twitch. So I mean there's that. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm also lazy as well. I'm also I have a major in procrastination. So
I have a master in that actually.
I'm sorry, I have a doctorate. My bad. Go ahead, Blake.
Yo, it's that time. What's going on, guys? It's me, Westtown HD, aka Blake. Google tells you my name is Ridge, but I'll tell you right now, only my mama calls me that. You may call me Blake. Recently been streaming Link's Awakening on Twitch and YouTube. Is that a JRPG? It's from Japan. Does it count?
I don't know. It's an adventure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an adventure. There you go. But yeah, hyped to be here.
Just real quick, Blake. What's up with the diva pillow?
Oh, the body pillow?
Yeah,
Courtesy of
Oh,
Nightmare
that's an
Alpha.
interesting story.
What's up with that? You
I think Nightmare
you're
can
missing
explain
the
that.
best girl of Overwatch.
I mean, Diva is best girl of Overwatch.
No, bro.
It's not Widowmaker. I can tell you that.
Oh my god. Okay.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello?
Riku's here. What's up, man?
Hello. What's good?
Since you decided to drop in on this, why don't you go ahead with your introduction, my dude?
What's good, everybody? It's Riku-san, one and only one, and I'm here today, once again, back on this podcast to talk about some JRPGs. I'm seeing the topics here. I'm seeing some stuff that isn't JRPGs, but I have an opinion on them, too. Don't mind talking about that also. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, cool. I've noticed we also talk about other games in general. Just for hell of it.
Just making sure that JRPGs is the main thing.
Yeah. All right. I think that's everybody but myself. So, it's me, Shadow Elite, the JRPG enthusiast, Mr. JRP, the Japanese role-playing game god is here. We out here. We're gonna be talking about these JRPGs right now. But of course, before that, I just gotta know, of course, what's everybody's playing right now? What is going on, Riku? Why don't you go ahead and start us off? What are you playing right now?
So,
Oh god, it starts.
it's not a lot. Come on. Okay, so I've been playing Suikoden 2 on my Vita. As far as my PS4, I've been slowly but surely getting through Final Fantasy VII. And I've just been bouncing between those two. I only really play Final Fantasy VII on Fridays and Saturdays when I stream it. So it's gonna take me a while to actually get through that because I only stream for about like minimum 4 hours per stream, maximum about 8, around there. And Suikoden, I think I'm at like 40% of the way through that. So yeah, just those two games.
What do you think of Final Fantasy VII so far? It's the best Final Fantasy, right? Okay, yeah. So let's move on. Go ahead. Go ahead. What do you think of it so far?
As far as it coming out in 1997, I can definitely see why during the time it came out, it is by some people still regarded today as one of the best games of all time, especially in 1997. I can, as far as like how the cinematic camera angles that the game uses, as far as when it wants to showcase summons and all that stuff, that was definitely something that was not in Final Fantasy 1 through 6. If you don't know, I'm trying to make my way through the games, and I'm up to 7 right now. So seeing that, I couldn't, and like little Riku back in 1997, if he didn't have that game and played it during the time when those graphics were considered next gen, what he would have thought of it. So I definitely give credit to Square for trying to hop into the PS1 as soon as it came out, trying to get Final Fantasy VII, done and out to the market, to the masses as quickly as possible to, gain popularity, which they did. They successfully did that. And that's why Final Fantasy VII is considered probably the most popular turn-based RPG game of all time. Can we all agree on that?
Possibly,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't consider Pokemon a turn-based RPG game, what is the next turn-based RPG game that is probably considered the most popular of all time?
I want to say Fire Emblem, but it's not Fire Emblem.
I think more people would know who Cloud is than any
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one.
Okay.
So,
That's true.
All right. Fair enough.
By the way, I have to say that it's just nice that Square was once a company that tried to push out games as fast as possible.
I know, right?
And now we're living in a
with
world
as much
where
quality as possible. Also,
yeah. And
Now
now
it's
we're
like
living in a world.
Square quality.
Both.
No.
I know, right?
quality and development time, they have both went in opposite directions of what they
Sometimes
used
it really
to be.
feels that they are sitting on their thumbs all day.
Quality DLC.
Jesus Christ.
Terrible. Terrible.
But as far as Final Fantasy VII, the last thing I'll say about it is the fact that, man, out of all of the Final Fantasies that I've played so far, this one is definitely the one that time has definitely not,
Has aged well. Okay.
Yeah, has aged well.
I feel you. I feel you. Now. I can definitely understand that. Final Fantasy VI
It's definitely rough. It's definitely rough. But yeah, I'll leave it there.
Okay. All right. Pin, what are you playing right now, man? What's going on your gaming log?
So, a couple things. This is sort of going into a topic we're going to be talking about on the podcast, but I've been playing Pokemon Go lately.
Oh,
Okay.
I actually got a couple of my coworkers back into it, and so we're having a good time. But the main game I've been playing has been Ni no Kuni 2. I'm currently working towards the platinum for it.
Okay.
I have a lot of it done. It's all just really tedious grinding stuff, like 2,000 balls.
Whoa, pause.
Okay.
But real quick about Ni no Kuni. Is it really that easy of a game? Because I heard when it first came out, people would say it's easy as hell. I haven't played it that much myself. I only played it for about 4, maybe 5 hours. That's about it. It seemed pretty easy, but I don't know if the whole game is ridiculously easy, as they say.
So, I mean, I'm one of those people who, when I play a game, I like to get all the quests done and then move on with the main story. And even then, I will admit, it was fairly easy. Which, sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the gameplay was still a lot of fun for me. But then towards the end of the game, I think I just wanted to get some like bonuses for beating it. So I just kind of just went straight to the end. I had a little trouble there, but I mean, I just used some healing items, and I still don't think I ever died.
Oh, okay, so it must be really that easy then. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Blake, what you out here playing in these game streets, man?
Well, as I said earlier, I've been playing through Link's Awakening, but also been playing a lot of Hyrule Warriors Definitive. I think that's like the perfect edition of it. But after I finished Link's Awakening, I got Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth here on sale. Never played a Digimon game a day in my life, but Bao held me at gunpoint, so I'm playing it.
Oh,
I'm still impressed how he does that over basically
I'm
half
still
the continent.
I'm still impressed how he doesn't do it. I don't understand. It's these Americans, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I was always surprised how many Digimon names I still know, but I can't keep up with a new Pokemon. So weird.
I've never watched an episode of Digimon.
Well, I think you're missing out, bro.
I do want to get around to it though.
I never found Digimon to be that great.
It's still better than Pokemon.
Yeah, I think if I used to be a heavy Pokemon fan back when Gen 2 was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I obviously fell off like a lot of people. But I do think that if I did get into Digimon, I would have liked it. Which is why I still want to go back and get into it and play those recent games.
This game cost me $25.
Yeah, the
I
recent
better
games
freaking
are
like it.
the recent games are definitely better. Some of the Digimon World games are a little bit obtuse. Is probably one of the best words to describe it.
All right. Nightmare, what are you playing, dude?
I had been a lot of things dealing with real life lately because, my grandma got on a vacation, my parents got a new cat I have to take care of sometimes, so I hadn't much time to play a really big thing. So instead of that, I decided to go a little bit on the mobile market and see what I can find around. And I'm going through some games and tried this and that, and it's interesting to see how these games work and what you can do with them. I mean, some of them are actually not bad. Other ones are good and bad at the same time. I actually tried one of the Final Fantasy mobile games. And
Which one was it?
I think it's Extia Bravus.
Yeah, I tried to play that one on a couple of occasions.
I have to say, I mean, it's the most RPG game that I have played in the last few times, but it's also the ones that I didn't care much and that was really stingy with giving you free shit. That's one of the biggest problems that some of these mobile games have. If they don't give you enough free shit, you're not willing to pay to play up with them, and it's kind of weird.
Oh, it's pretty much pay to play, not free to play these days.
At this point, yeah, but I have seen actually some really good mobile games that are not very stingy with the content, so I don't know what's wrong here. But
yeah, I heard Fate Grand Order or something like that, whatever it's called, is actually pretty good when it comes to
I mean, free stuff is good there, but gameplay wise, it's not very interesting. So
okay, all right.
I mean, if you like tapping combinations of colors, yay.
Okay.
It's not very complicated.
Okay, Q, what are you playing, my dude?
Let's see. Like Nightmare mentioned before, I do play the occasional PES, but JRPG wise, I'm playing on my Switch right now. I'm playing East 8 Lacrimosa of Dana.
Yeah,
it's supposed to come out. It's not out like sometime this month. That's coming out on Switch.
29th.
The 29th, perfect. And The Lost Child, I'm playing that on Switch as well at the moment. I'm supposed to be playing Ni no Kuni 2 as well, but the problem with that is that I got that right after release date, and usually when I get a game right after release date, I don't get enough time to go back because I have other games that I have to get into. So Ni no Kuni has kind of been a bit on the back burner, even though some people have been asking me when am I going to put up the review for it. So mainly I've been playing the Switch because, well, the Switch is awesome. So
Switch, all right. For East 8 though, how's it running on the Switch?
It runs like a dream. Like there's not the thing is that East 8 ran on the Vita. So you should remember that game ran on the Vita perfectly fine. And so on the Switch, it looks great and it runs great on the Switch, which is to me is just a marvel. Like the fact that you could get a game that's such a big JRPG and fit it on the Switch and have it run so smoothly and look so good. I think it's a good thing. But the one thing, though, it's similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. If you play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Switch and then you, like in handheld mode and then you put it in console mode, it does look better in console mode. And it's the same thing for East 8. It does look a bit better in console mode. So
I think I'm
as it should.
better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see how it is. All right.
Get it on the Switch. That's what you gotta do.
He's not lying.
Get it on the Vita. Don't listen to this guy.
Ew.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I have it on the
Shower.
Vita too. I think I have East 8 Lacrimus of Din on every platform. I have it on the PC, Vita.
Yo, you got the PC version?
Well, I mean, I didn't. The thing is, I should be very clear that I didn't purchase it.
Okay.
So that's the reason I ended up with a copy of it on every platform. If I had to choose a particular platform and it wasn't going to be one, I would have probably chosen the PC. But because of the fact that I didn't have to choose, I ended up with it on the PlayStation 4, Vita, PC, and Switch. So
Cool.
sorry.
That's okay.
All right, and I'm currently playing right now Legend of Heroes Trails Cold Steel 2.
Hey.
Taking my sweet time with that, and it's really so good. I'm a little bit worried though that when I get to the end, and then I'm gonna be like, damn, I want to play some more of this game. Where's Cold Steel 3 at? Well, where is it? No localization inside, no announcements. Like I'm just like sitting there, just like blue balls. So like, what the hell?
Man, take it slow. Good things take time.
Don't
Well,
worry,
the
you're gonna be busy with Valkyria Chronicles 4, so don't worry about it.
That's
I'll tell you what, as far as the end of Cold Steel 2, you'll feel like you're satisfied. Unlike the end of Cold Steel 1 where they blue balls the fuck out of you.
Yeah, they did.
So,
Really
even though they give you you spend a lot of time in Cold Steel, but what is the play time for Cold Steel 1? Like 50, 60 hours or something?
I think I ended mine at like 95 hours, something like that.
Yeah. It's still a big one, even though by the time you reach to the end, you still want more. When you reach to the end of Cold Steel, you feel like you've gotten a full experience, but they still leave it open for like, this isn't over yet. You know, so. But yeah, go play the Trails in the Sky, bro.
No, man. After I'm done
trust.
with Cold Steel 2, I gotta move on. I gotta go back to Ni no Kuni 2. And
Understandable. I'm just saying, if you are trying to, get ready for Cold Steel 3, you know what you need to do.
I need to jump
It would
on
behoove you.
Trails in the Sky too. But yeah, I'm also I'm not even really playing Ni no Kuni 2. It's all about Cold Steel 2 for me right about now. But I really do want to get back to it. Okay, all right. So we got that out of the way. Let's jump into these topics. Let's talk. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Okay, let's just talk about the big thing that was announced. Everybody wet their pants, and everybody was a little bit angry about it. Let's talk about the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
Okay.
All right, so these are the new Pokemon games coming out on the Switch. It's gonna be another Pokemon game, but let's talk about these two for the time being. Me personally, first of all, I'm gonna get Let's Go Eevee because fuck Pikachu.
Same. Man of culture.
Game Freak really trying to push that boy Eevee into the front lines.
I don't know where Eevee came from in this particular case.
Yeah, like
all right.
R.I.P. Clefairy.
If they had to make a second version, which other Generation 1 Pokemon would have fit that?
I thought it would be Clefairy. Clefairy was supposed to be the original mascot. Remember, Clefairy was supposed to be the original mascot of Pokemon, but Pikachu just clicked with everyone, and they said, all right, well, everybody likes Pikachu. New mascot for it is Pikachu. So I'm like, damn.
To me, it makes sense that the Eevee is the mascot for the other one, though, because, with Pokemon Yellow, you got Pikachu, and then your rival got Eevee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's actually why they said they did it. Because
it's a new
really? Okay,
that's okay.
Yeah, that's a good reason for them to do it. I was just throwing out the fact that before they even came up with any stories or anything, it was supposed to be Clefairy. I don't want it to be Clefairy, and I'm glad it isn't. I'm just saying it was supposed to be.
I hate pink. So these games, they seem to be like kind of a mix between the actual traditional Pokemon games and just something for I don't know how to say it, just actual casuals. Pretty much is catering to Gen 1ers for the most part. I'm a little bit worried that the random battles, it seems that they are not traditional battles, that all you're going to be doing is throwing Pokeballs at it like Pokemon Go style. That's not something I think is too much akin to normal Pokemon, traditional Pokemon, but I guess they really had to throw in that Pokemon Go integration there. Other than that, people are really upset about this. So let's start off with Pen. What do you think about all this?
So just to sort of elaborate on your point with the random battles, because I definitely see why that would be a reason that a lot of people would be, angry about this. But for me, the way I see it, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would just use a bunch of repels as it is.
Yeah, me too.
So the fact that I can actually just see the Pokemon on the screen now, it's like I pretty much already have a repel because I can pretty much just avoid all of them if I really wanted to.
Would a repel make them run from you?
Or maybe they just wouldn't appear at all. Who knows? But as long as they have some sort of battling, which I'm sure they do have the trainers still, they do have some battling. I think it'll be fine. I don't know if it's because I started playing Pokemon Go again that I don't care as much. But I will admit the little Pokeball controller is a bit much.
It's surprising that Pokeball controller is going to be like $50-$60.
Yeah, I'm not about to pay $50 for that.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
That's a lot.
Come on, they got you to pay for cardboard. They could get you paid for a Pokeball.
Yeah.
You are so right. Holy crap.
Yeah, point though.
So Nightmare, what you think about these Pokemon games, man?
I have been mostly, kind of on the whole matter. It's like it's a new Pokemon game. So my big problem is Pokemon is already a pretty casual game in many cases. So why make it even more casual? That's my big question.
I guess for that they would just get more people interested in the series. I guess.
I don't know, man. I think we have already reached with Pokemon Go the maximum amount of Pokemon players possible. I don't know if you can make more. I think if the format doesn't appeal to them, I think they're not going to play with this game. I think they will not cultivate a better audience than before. They will just get the same people that they would get with a normal game, maybe even less. I don't know. For me, it's not a big deal. It's Pokemon. I have seen every kind of Pokemon thing. It was merchandise heavy in the 90s, so heavy, so I don't care.
So be real, Nightmare. If you had a Switch, would you get it?
No, but I wouldn't have a Switch in first place, so...
Oh my goodness.
That Switch slander.
I'm hurt.
I'm not saying you shouldn't buy a Switch. I'm just saying there's nothing on the Switch that I want, so...
That Switch slander.
Oh my God.
JRPGs.
Yeah, all one of them.
It's not one. I just mentioned East earlier on and The Lost Child. Those are both JRPGs.
I think he was referring to exclusives.
It's like, come on, all of that stuff I can get on other platforms. It's not necessary to have a
You can
Switch.
borrow them from the internet.
We're not talking about this today. That's for later.
Okay, Riku, what do you think of these Pokemon games?
So, like I said, I plateaued around Johto. So I did play Ruby and Sapphire. What was that called? Hoenn?
Yeah.
And then Sinnoh after that, which was Diamond and Pearl. That's when I fell off. And the DS Lite. Before I got my 3DS, DS Lite was like the last Nintendo console I had for like a long time. And as far as Pokemon, I fell off too. So when it came, I recently got a 3DS back, and I'm trying to get caught up with Pokemon, but it's definitely on the back burner because I'm busy with like Final Fantasy VII and Suikoden 2. But everyone, hey Rico, are you getting a Switch? Are you getting a Switch? I'm like, Switch ain't got no games for me, man. And and they were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, okay, well, firstly, for me to get another console, I always have this rule where I need at least 4 to 5 games that I really, really want for me to go out and buy it.
So the Pokemon games aren't anywhere near that?
The Pokemon games, I thought, before we knew what it was, I was saying that depending on what it was going to be, I would count that as, a point towards that, those 5 points. Right now, the only game on that is Octopath Traveler. That's the only thing.
So not Chronicles 2?
I've never played a Xeno game before.
Blasphemy.
I'm getting to it. I'm starting with Xenogears soon after Suikoden. Once Suikoden, we can play some Xenogears, and then I want to get to Xenosaga. And I do want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Not really in Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I don't know how I feel about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as far as what I've seen and how it. For some reason I'm more interested in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. So right now, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 doesn't count towards a point towards that. And I'm not that big in Mario, so Mario Odyssey, no. Never played a Zelda game, so not really interested in Breath of the Wild either.
Okay, so these Pokemon games just won't get you to buy a Switch. Even what if it was the new mainline Pokemon game? Would you still?
If it was the new mainline Pokemon game, this is what I thought it was going to be, and probably everybody else thought it was going to be. We thought that this was going to be the Pokemon RPG game that probably had all of the generations, if not a new generation with it. Probably at least at the gameplay style of at least Final Fantasy X, you know? And
okay, that's what you mean. Okay.
They did not give us that. And that's what I thought it was going to be. And I thought a lot of people, to think that's what it was going to be too. So now that it's not that, I honestly, when I figured out that it wasn't that, I didn't even look up any extra information about it. So I saw a little bit of gameplay here, a little bit of that. When I figured out it wasn't what I wanted, I didn't even look up anything else. So when I heard you guys talking about it a second ago, talking about there isn't any random encounters, I didn't even fucking know that. There's no more random encounters in this Pokemon game?
Nah, all the Pokemon are being seen on screen.
Okay, that's interesting. You said, I mean, I understand. There's one thing I did like about the Pokemon games where they had repel, and it depends on how many steps you take. I thought that was cool. I would like to see that in other RPGs. I like the repel item system, but if you see them on the map, do they run towards you to try and start a battle, or are they just like walking around? Do the red ones run away? Like
They just seem to be walking around in the bushes doing nothing.
Well, there was this one
I would
part.
assume there would be like Rattatash trying to chase you and shit, right? No. If that's the case, then that sounds interesting, but it's all about execution.
Okay, all right. Q, what do you think of these Pokemon games?
Well, I think I mentioned a bit of it in your chat last night when you were streaming, and the thing about it is that for this particular Pokemon, I'm kind of 50-50. Like, I like the graphics, but I don't really know if I'm gonna enjoy the game, and it's for the same reasons that everyone else has mentioned. They've taken out the battles when you find new Pokemon, which to me that was kind of the fun of it, having that little moment with you and a Pokemon trying to convince it to join you by violence and
by force. Join these peaceful creatures to join you by force.
Please don't think too hard about the mechanics of Pokemon games. Please, it ruins the fun.
But here's the thing, though. When they announced that they were gonna do a new Pokemon game, I was thinking it was gonna be the 2019 one, the one that's coming in 2019, and I was thinking it was gonna be something similar to like what they did with Pokemon XD on the GameCube. I was thinking it's going to be a fully 3D world. You're probably going to be able to move the camera around your entire character, which is going to be nice. Mm-hmm. And if there are wild Pokemon in the bushes and stuff, you can see them. They have their own sort of like coding, so they act uniquely and do certain things. But that's not what we have here. We have a standard Pokemon game that's very akin to Pokemon Go, which is good. And it actually makes sense for Nintendo to do that right now because of the fact that they want to sell more Switches. They have a goal of how much Switches they want to sell. And the amount of people that like Pokemon Go are going to buy this game. Most of the people that are going to buy this game are going to be Pokemon Go fans. So they're going to buy it. Plus the few Pokemon fans that want a new Pokemon game are going to get it. But for the most part, they're going to just meet their quota they wanted to meet for this year. And so it's sort of like a checklist game, I guess.
It is because it's definitely, at least I'm using myself as an example. It's definitely not bringing in people who fell out of Pokemon and fell out of Nintendo. True. Because I'm one of them. This was going to be a real. This might have counted as 2 points towards that, 5-point list to me. If they did exactly what I wanted, man, that would definitely like brought me back into Pokemon, especially since I'm trying to get caught up. But it's not. I don't know how many other people are like me that are out there.
Hey, I dropped off at X and Y, and I'm still trying to get that sort of like itch to feel like, oh, I should pick up a new Pokemon game, and I haven't had it. I haven't had the itch like, hey, I need to get the new ones.
So you haven't played Sun and Moon?
No, I haven't. And I can pick up Sun and Moon in an instant. I have friends who have Sun and Moon, and I can just, hey, can I just play a copy of Sun and Moon or something? Even though that's
I have
weird.
Pokemon Sun sitting here right with me.
That's the thing. You can just have it on the shelf and just never touch it because it just doesn't give you the urge.
Yeah.
All right. Blake, what do you think about these games? I know I have a feeling you're really hyped for these games.
Well, I'm beginning to think I'm like the big Nintendo guy here because I grew up on Nintendo. Whatnot, listening to all you guys talk about it hurts me. But I mean, I'll respect your opinions. I'm not gonna trash anything. But I think what they're doing, what they're going for, I think is a smart move. Whereas they're trying to single handedly resurrect both the Pokemon Go players and sell Switches because Pokemon Go was super popular, and this game I feel like it's. I've seen some other people talk about this. It kind of looks like a Pokemon Go HD with like an actual story to it. And I think remaking using the first generation of Pokemon to test his engine out on was a good step because people were bitching that there wasn't Generation 4, but if they had remade Generation 4 using these assets, like the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee 1 assets, and then they had like the no wild encounters, like all this stuff, people would be livid. They'd be furious. They want to destroy this game like more than they already do. But yeah, I don't. So far, I mean, I'm of the firm like I'm open to change because to be a Nintendo fan, you kind of have to be. I have issues with trust because every time I get attached to a Nintendo controller, it changes on me in a weird way. So we just can't have nice controllers. But and also there was one part in the trailer where he runs into a Rattata, but it's a Pidgey that he fights in the trailer. So I'm not sure. I think you can still find wild Pokemon in caves and grass, but the Pokemon you run into in the cave there is guaranteed to be that Pokemon. Like let's say you find a shiny in the cave, you can run into that, and boom, it's a shiny Pokemon. If that makes any sense.
I don't think they'll give shinies just that easily.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine you see a shiny Pokemon? It's like a Rapidash and it runs away from you. That's real sad at that point.
That'd be terrible.
But no, I'm also a little sad that's only the first 150 mon Pokemon because Generation 1's my favorite game. I do love the games. No, actually, no, Generation 2 is my favorite generation, but Generation 1 had a lot of fun with. But I think the original 151 Pokemon, it's kind of hard to do only those when there's like 600, 700 other Pokemon in the realm that you could probably take apart and put in the game. I would have liked it. I probably would have liked these games a bit more if it was more like a Pokemon like Yellow 2, like a reimagining, not like it's just like a straight remake, like print to print, nothing's changed. Then it may not be as enjoyable. But there was a leak going around somewhere. There was also capitalized on the hype of Let's Go Eevee and whatnot. They were like, yeah, this is going to take place in Kanto like 20 years after. Pallet Town's now underwater. The volcano's erupted. Half of Kanto has been destroyed. I'm like, that sounds cool. Let's do poke-apocalyptic Pokemon. That would be great.
They're not going to do that.
They
It's not that kind of developer.
Exactly. They would not do that.
Hey,
But the
Rich,
features,
I got a question for you, man. You call yourself a Pokemon fan, so you gotta have known about this like recent, the showing of all of these prototype Pokemon that have been being shown off. A nice handful of them honestly look really cool.
Oh yeah, they look super dope.
And what if those got brought into this Pokemon Let's Go?
I was actually talking to Bao about that earlier. I was like, what if they actually, because the internet just got a hold of these. So Game Freak did not come out and say, hey, you guys can look at these that we're never going to use. I feel like Game Freak, they're going to use those models in some capacity someday, whether it be in the future, like if they do Generation 8, like a Generation 4, where they add like a bunch of pre-existing evolutions to Pokemon. I would like that to happen. But now I'm really down with a lot of them because they're really cool looking.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Oh, thank God. Did I miss the entire Pokemon conversation?
Yeah, I just walked into it. As a matter of fact, since you're the last one, go ahead, get your 2 cents out about this Pokemon game. What do you think of it?
Okay, are we talking about the Let's Go Pikachu, or are we talking about like the 20? Okay, to me, it just looks really. It's a way to capitalize on the Pokemon phone game or whatever, the Pokemon Go. But this is supposed to be allegedly a remake of Pokemon Yellow, right?
Yes.
Which is just weird. People keep telling me that it's not a mainline title. And I think that if it's going to be a remake of something, that counts as a mainline title. And if it's going to be a remake, you don't need to be incorporating mechanics from a cell phone game into a mainline title. It just seems really stupid to me.
So by that was Fire Red and Leaf Green. Those were mainline titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, remakes typically are, but this is more. I wouldn't say this is a remake. This is more so a spin-off that they're using to test out the engine on the Switch. kind of like in the vein of Coliseum and XD. Because in Coliseum and XD, there was like 3 wild Pokemon battles that you could have in that game, but the game didn't suffer because of it.
Hello there, Ghost. How have you been, Ghost?
Pretty good, pretty good.
You have a picture of Marie in the garbage bin. You want to explain that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is going on with that? How you gonna put Marie in like that?
I knew somebody was going to ask that. Marie is a terrible character. She belongs in the garbage.
Okay. I am not defending Marie. I'm Team Reese.
Marie
There's no Reese slander. I'm good.
Dare you?
Marie is a terrible character.
Oh God!
She's literally
let's not go there.
She was literally introduced as a plot point.
Yeah, I also don't like her. This whole shtick is not going to work
Why
well
is there
for
so
her.
much hate?
Oh my God.
I mean,
I don't hate her. I just think she's not interesting.
Think about it like this. The story would still make sense without her.
Yeah,
But-
because she's
She's a bonus character.
That's
Yeah.
But
literally
is the story better with her though? Is it? Is it better with her in the story?
No, it actually made it worse.
No,
That's
it
one of the
didn't.
that is one of the things about Golden that I dislike immensely. Especially if you're trying to go for like a platinum or whatever, you have to do all this stuff with stupid cards that you never have to use.
I think I opened up a can of worms.
Honestly, the only thing that's holding me back from the platinum on golden is the freaking the resale lines.
Yeah, I heard that was terrible to get.
Yeah,
That was bad.
let's not do this. This was a terrible idea. So
Getting way off.
let's move on before we lose track.
Before we kill each other.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
White Who was about to start.
Resale is waifu.
Just real quick about these Pokemon games. Why do you guys think it is that Nintendo doesn't want to deliver us the Pokemon game that everybody wants? Like, having a Pokemon game with 2 regions, looking like Coliseum, XD, Yellow Darkness, and whatever other game, and having everything we could possibly want. Why does Nintendo feel that they should just keep it the way it is?
I don't
Because they'll know they'll still make money.
It's hype, basically. The longer they take before they deliver, the more we'll keep like hoping for that kind of thing. It's like, you can have this, we know you want it, but yeah, we'll just sort of like dangle it in front of you for like another 10 more years.
The way I see it with that is it's like, imagine they gave us all that stuff. How do you upstep that? 3 regions, then 4 regions, then 5 regions. Then Pokemon's literally just becoming something they can no longer control.
Pokemon MMO.
I still think that Gold and Silver were some kind of weird mistake by Game Freak, that they weren't allowed to do all of that stuff.
That's
And
why I
that
love
Nintendo
those.
was like, you did all put that in the cartridge. Do you know how much money you wasted? You are not going to do that. Go back. We are going to invent DLC just to spite you.
Well, I think back then when they made Gold and Silver, they were like many companies. They wanted to put as much content into a game as they possibly could, so they could satisfy us. But looking back on it now, it's like, the hell is all this content doing in here? when you think of it from a publisher perspective, I guess.
If memory serves, the only reason that Gold and Silver had a second region, because they stopped at the first region in Gold and Silver, and then Iwata developed like a new compression something for the Game Boy Color. I can't remember all the intricate details, but he's the main reason alone why they were able to fit a second region on that cartridge.
Yeah, that's true. Iwata was a really good programmer for that point, and that's basically the saddest part about his departure, because I think he could have worked better in the industry, not as a CEO, but more as a developer. That's just my 2 cents on that.
I find it interesting that a lot of not characters, Pokemon that were shown to be prototypes, as far as the Johto region, a lot of them were like de-evolutions or evolutions of Pokemon from Kanto.
Like the baby
Like,
Pokemon, you mean?
Yeah, there was a lot of in those prototypes. There were a lot of like baby Pokemon that wasn't there like another like baby Pikachu in there, like a fat one, and
Yeah, and there was also a
There was,
baby
like-
Meowth as well.
yeah, baby. There was like a lot of them, and I was like, I'm not surprised a lot of them got cut because they probably were like, we have too many de-evolutions and extra evolutions instead of actual new Pokemon. We might have to cut like
Let me see if I can
75% of these off, even though they looked cool.
I mean, that's great and all, but I just say cut a lot of a fat. Pokemon already has way too much fat. So many legendaries that I don't care about. Just make them really legendary. Make them.
I thought those
rare.
legendary dogs, the prototypes for Entei, Raikou and Suicune, those looked pretty cool. They should bring those back
That's
as different
great, but
Pokemon.
I say limit the amount of legendary Pokemon.
I would definitely agree on the notion that they need to cut back on stuff with Pokemon, because if they had done this remake properly, or that's allegedly what we're calling it, I would have just liked to go back to the original 100 or so Pokemon instead of like a lot of these new I can't stand a lot of the new designs. I can't stand a lot of the new characters, like Greninja and all. I don't.
You don't like Greninjas?
Nah.
Wow.
Okay, I was expecting to hear like
Oh.
Klefki or
Yeah,
I-
Klinklang.
or the garbage bin.
I haven't seen
Keychain.
a lot of cool Pokemon designs since probably like Diamond and Pearl. Like
Is
a
it?
lot of them have been really lame to me.
Do you like Lucario?
Yeah, I like Lucario. Yeah.
The car is awesome. Here's a question though, right? Now, we all have a problem, well, I'd say most of us have a problem with the fact that the new Pokemon game is not really what we're 100% looking for. But what if Nintendo were to do exactly like what Square Enix is doing with Final Fantasy VII? What if they said, you know what, we're going to take Pokemon Y, Pokemon Yellow, and Pokemon Gold and Silver and actually make a proper remake that's completely different in the sense like it's fully 3D and it has all the things that we want, and the Pokemon actually make the songs that they make instead of the the chip tunes that they have in there. Wouldn't that be something that we would all buy? Because I'd buy it.
Are you
No,
saying
that's what like I said, that's what I thought I was getting.
the Final Fantasy VII remake looks like a proper remake to you guys?
Not really.
I
I
mean,
never said that.
Let's
I
not get
never
into
made
that one.
I never made that claim.
See, I have more problems with this. You wanna know what my biggest problem is? That they still haven't fixed the fucking power creep in Pokemon. The first generation Pokemon have so little stats and nobody cares for that. Why haven't they fixed that in one of these remakes yet? And I don't know why. It's ridiculous.
I think
You
one
know?
thing. I think one thing that Pokemon needs to do, if they were to do, put it on the scale, from a gameplay standpoint, the whole Pokemon only having 4 moves, I think that needs to change. To be
Yeah.
honest, because
Mhm.
even like in the anime, like Pikachu knows how to do everything he's ever learned. Why should my Pokemon have to forget? Like,
You want
damn,
to
they're
know
all his
something?
moves.
Here's a fun thing. Every Pokemon in the anime has actually at least 6 attacks available at all time, not 4. So weird.
I don't know about that. I think by taking away abilities and forcing you to learn forcing you to learn new things and replace old things, it makes it more balanced to where you have to work with what you have instead of having, like, if you had everything, then
What would you need?
Why didn't I'm not
you'd
saying
be
have
overpowered
everything.
in some cases.
I'm not saying have everything. I'm saying increase it from 4. Like you said, 6. 6 sounds fine. All I'm saying is that usually, as far as I remember, when I used to play Pokemon, by the end, when I had that level 99 Pokemon, a lot of my moves were like, the strongest moves that Pokemon learned, which the PP amount on that was pretty freaking small.
I mean, just like in Persona, don't you? In Persona, you replace moves.
I didn't like that
occasionally,
either. Honestly, I like it how the Trails series does it. Everything my character ever learned is right there.
Well, the thing about it is, if they change it up and make it increase from 4 to 6, they got to change up the whole dynamic
Then
of
go
how
ahead,
certain
stop being
Pokemon
lazy.
work.
Yeah,
Then
That
go
would be
ahead,
like a
stop being
whole
lazy.
yeah, it's true. But
There's the metagame.
What if you could
Exactly.
swap out the moves?
That's what I want. I want to,
because even in Persona, like once you replace old moves with new moves, it forces you to manage SP a lot better, especially if it's something like 13 SP or something
I
larger.
didn't like that in Persona either. So
Not
What
to
if
be
you
that
could
guy,
keep
but the
all
Shin
the
Megami
moves?
Tensei battle style hasn't really changed in the last 10 years.
oh no, it hasn't. Nobody has really called it out on it.
But hey, I mean, it works. It's entertaining, and I find it more enjoyable than most of the action RPGs that are released out there. So,
I never liked the feature of removing moves for other moves.
I agree with you on that one. I think what if you just have all the moves and you could choose a subset of moves to use in battle?
So, what do you suggest they do with the difficulty?
Okay, so take for example, one, I think the gameplay needs to change in Pokemon. At least try something new for once, because that's one of the things that a lot of people are kind of like, it's a bit stale. And what if they did, like, for example, like the Tales style of games? You walk around in the overworld, you see a
God,
monster,
no.
you attack it. I think that would be interesting. It would be something different, and then you can
I mean, how can we call Pokemon stale when Tails has been like the same thing since Xillia 1?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this would be the first time Pokemon would be doing the tail style, so it'd be interesting.
I'm just saying, make something new. I mean, they have a lot of these side games. They try out some things. I remember Pokemon Conquest. Not many people do. And I think that was interesting.
So real quick, has anybody tried downloading that Pokemon Quest?
No, but it looked like a travesty.
I have it on my Switch. I haven't opened it yet.
Wait, what?
It's a smartphone game that's being
Oh.
tested on the Switch before they port it to the smartphone.
Oh, so it's not
That's
gonna.
the thing.
Is it gonna stay on the Switch, or are they
Yeah,
just?
it's staying on the Switch. They said it's gonna be on Switch first, and then it's gonna come to smartphones. But I'm pretty sure it's just they're trying it on Switch, seeing how it runs, and then porting it over to handhelds.
Yeah, it looked like some type of Minecraft type of Pokemon game. I didn't know.
Funny
what was
enough,
going on there.
Nintendo actually shut down the Pokemon Minecraft mod about 6 months out.
Oh.
Okay. Well, okay, let's move on, I guess, at this point. Or if anything that has to be said.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next topic. Vita physical games are ending around March of next year, and well, when I bring it up, people seem to be jumping down my throat about it because I'll say it, the Vita's dead.
It is dead.
It is.
It's been dead for a while now, but some
Thank you.
people are really sensitive about their Vita, and they feel like they gotta come and defend it so badly. I'm like, bruh.
Sounds like Riku.
Great.
I mean, when he wants me to talk, I'll let him talk. So I'm just letting him.
It's like, the Vita has great games. It's got all these great JRPGs. I enjoyed it, but right now, what's the point of its existence anymore? Okay, even the JRPGs that are coming to it have come to other platforms completely, and they're better and they have more content. Yeast 8, Legend of Hero, Cold Steel has a turbo feature. You know how useful that thing is? Like, please.
I just wanted to check on my Vita what kind of new games have come out, but I realized my battery is down, so I can't take that. But I can tell you the last time I looked, there wasn't much news. So yes, I agree that this system is slowly going out.
It hasn't slowly gone out. It's
gone.
been out.
Yeah, it's gone. But the point is, here's a funny thing. I haven't bought many physical games for the system anyway, so I wouldn't care. I have bought most of it digitally anyway. So
I mean, like it still has its usefulness. I'm sure people are using it, but you gotta think that sometimes it's time to let it go. Just let it go. Let's move on to the next thing,
okay.
Vita 2 or whatever it's gonna be called. If not, just let it go.
I'm not sure if
That's how I feel.
I'm not sure if this Sony actually goes back with another Vita or something like that. But what do you feel about that?
Okay.
He mentioned
Yeah,
something about-
Riku, I'm pretty sure you got something to say. So
I was letting everybody get their thoughts out. I think Ghost wanted to say something. I'll let him go.
I was gonna say, to be fair, while I only have Final Fantasy X and Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, in a lot of ways, the Vita is technically better than the PS4 in a lot of ways, because not only can you get a lot of the RPG titles that you got on PS3 and PS4 on there, but you can also download PS1 titles if you want, PSP titles, which there was a lot of RPGs on PSP, and it's portable, so yeah.
the portability argument. So
I agree with that.
So before Riku says his little speech about the about the Vita and how wrong I am, does anybody else have anything to say?
I have something to say about the Vita. One, it has 44 games on its way coming to the platform. I get a new video game probably almost every month, so it's not like it's not getting games. Usually, again, they're digital games, but I don't buy physical anyway, so digital, I'm fine with that. And so with 44 games still set to come out for the platform and developers still announcing games for it, I think it depends on who you ask if it's dead. You know, people who don't play Vitas, yeah, it's dead. But people who actually own a Vita and actually use it, it's still alive because their game's still coming for it. And like Ghost said, you know, there are a ton of great games you can play on it that were on other platforms. And yeah, it's portable. So
Oh my god, the portability.
I'm just gonna say something real quick too. Like, luckily we're on a JRPG podcast, so this is okay. But to be honest, the only reason anybody should get a Vita is if they're a fan of JRPGs. If you ask me,
Thanks.
yeah,
Okay.
there's
true.
there's really not a good exclusive non JRPG that I can think of. I mean, sure they got some rhythm games on there, but
Ooh.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
I
but-
can't think of
Persona
anything
4 Golden.
really.
Yeah, but real quick to your point, Ben. It's a console for JRPGs, but again, most of those JRPGs are available elsewhere.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
do agree with
better
that
at-
too. A lot of the games on the Vita I've seen on PC.
Exactly.
Like you got the Hyperdimension games, right?
Fact.
You got
See,
they're
I
getting
okay,
Sorcery
well-
Saga on there now.
Wait,
so
wait, we gotta slow down though. Like when we're talking about RPGs, are we just talking about that brand of like, stuff like NIS and all that as well?
Well, I would
Yeah.
think we talk about all JRPGs,
Yeah,
and
just-
RPGs for the most part, because
I
people
mean-
say it's a JRPG console, but stuff is available elsewhere.
Well, if you get those, you can get a lot of those on Vita. If I recall, you had like the Hyperdimension Neptunia remakes and all that stuff on Vita as well. Plus, like a lot of the other quality games out there, like I said, the PS1 titles as well. You got the Valkyria profiles. I think some of the Valkyria Chronicles games you can import or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can definitely do that.
So,
But
I mean, wasn't Tales of Hearts R a Vita exclusive?
ill?
Oh,
But,
yes, in America. I remember a Japanese release on DS or something like that.
Yeah, it was DS.
okay. All right.
So I have said that before, and I still continue on. I think the PS Vita was always the budget PS4, and that was a good thing in my opinion for people who didn't want to buy a big bulky system for $300-$400. They could buy a Vita and get similar gaming experience, especially if they like JRPGs. So I don't think it is necessarily a bad system. I don't think it's a dead system, but I think it's definitely slowing down.
Okay. All right. All right, Riku. Go say your.
I'm gonna try and keep it short, okay? I'm gonna try and condense it as much as possible.
Oh boy.
So, as far as what Shadow was saying, as far as games that can be played elsewhere, it's been about what 6 years since the Vita's been out.
Yeah, about I think
2012. 2012 is when it came out.
Yeah, I think so.
So 6 years would be around the time usually a next console comes out anyway. So if you want to start calling it dead, I honestly am no longer triggered. So as far as what you guys are talking about, what can be played on the Vita, I was gonna mention what Ghost is talking about.
Yeah.
PS1 games, PSP games.
You get a better of course they can be gotten elsewhere, but you're getting a better value by getting those games plus other titles from like some of the older systems, unless you're just against that,
And I was honestly disappointed.
Why would I want them on this small screen where I can get them on my PC, 1080p, 60 FPS, more features, less load times? Why would I want it on this system?
Portability.
Let me ask you this.
Shadow.
Let me ask you this. What are you expecting, like, graphically incredible out of a Hyperdimension Neptunia game? Like,
No, real talk. I've been playing the Hyperdimension Neptunia games for a while. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with them. I know what they're capable of. I'm not expecting the best graphics out of this, but I am expecting a nice little frame rate.
Okay.
And if I'm playing it on the Vita, I get some abysmal-ass frame rate. Playing it on the PC, it's much better. It's 60 FPS.
Like,
Wait,
so
they have a frame rate on the Vita?
but Blanchard's here. He's gonna go in. I can tell.
let me get it.
Yeah, go Riku. Go.
So like I said, I'm not going to debate games that are on the Vita, but also can be played elsewhere at a superior version. I'm not debating those. I completely understand and agree with you when it comes to those games. And honestly, the only game someone can even debate that is exclusive on the Vita is Persona 4 Golden. Literally everything else is not there. But that's not why I play. Say what?
Freedom Wars is also.
Yeah, I was gonna say
True,
Freedom
true,
Wars.
true,
I
Freedom
remember
Wars.
somebody I knew played that for a really long time.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like the main one that everyone always talks
Yeah.
about needs to get off of the Vita. But I want to ask you, as far as legally, where can you play Legend of Dragoon?
Legend of Dragoon.
On the PS1.
That's on the Vita?
It's a
Yeah, it's a
PS1
PS1
classic, and it can be played on the Vita.
Can
I
it be
did not
played
know
on?
that.
It can also be played on PS3 as well.
It can also be played on PS3, but who plays their PS3 in today's age? Not a lot. I said not a lot. Most of the the time people are playing current gen consoles or the portables. I am not turning on my PS3.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I would agree that the PS3 is probably one of the worst of Sony systems. But
and
yeah,
when I found out that PS4 could not play PS1 games, I was highly disappointed.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
A lot of people were, especially with those PS2 classics that they started to release on PS3. Those are still only on PS3. You can't even play those on
What
PS3. Those are
shocks
still
me-
only on PS3.
what shocks me is that y'all are still willing to pay for them. Like I thought they were honestly a ripoff, like $14 just for some trophies.
Oh, those
I'd only pick them up on sale.
No, I
Yeah.
wasn't talking about the PS2 games that are on PS4. I was talking about the PS2 games that released on the PlayStation Store on PS3, like Suikoden 3, for example.
Yeah, I guess.
But point is, the PS1 games, also the PSP games, like you said, Lunar, Silver Star Harmony. People consider that one of the best turn-based RPG games of all term, and can't play that on easy. Of all term.
You said Lunar 2, right?
Lunar.
Yeah,
Lunar 2.
I have Lunar 2 on my shelf, so yeah. That one I don't necessarily have to worry about, I guess.
Yeah, but I think Silver Star Harmony is the one that everyone says is like the best one. But point is, I remember what Andrew House a couple years ago said that the Vita was a legacy console. And honestly, when everybody was getting triggered and wondering why the hell he said that, I felt like that was a compliment to the Vita because that's what I'm using it for. A whole bunch of PS1 games, the legacy of PlayStation. So I was fine when he said that. So, like I said, it's been 6 years since the Vita came out. If you want to call it dead, go ahead. I'm fine.
Sony has only themselves to blame.
Oh, yeah,
definitely. It has to do with marketing. Yeah, it was not right.
And as far as the main topic question, as far as retail games, I only bought 3 retail games for my Vita: Rayman Origins, Unit 13, and like Dynasty Warriors Next on release date. And I traded all of those in.
Damn.
I own on my 64 gigabyte memory stick.
I do not like the Rayman Origins games.
Rayman Origins was good. Legends was
Exactly.
I'm done.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say about
I
that.
thought Legends was an improvement on our Origins, but I
Those
still,
Murphy missions were a drag. I couldn't do it.
How are you doing, Blandrew?
Yeah, glad you jumped up in here. I'm sure you got something to say about the Vita.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I like the Vita more than I do the PlayStation 4, for the simple reason that I can play my games in peace. If I'm playing something like Persona 5 and I'm just listening to these people talk, I'm just listening to from the fan. I can't play games on the PS4.
Okay, I see that because my old white PS4 had a real problem when it came to noise, so I literally had to buy another one.
Yeah, I've had 2 PS4s. I've had a standard and I've had a pro, and they're all like extremely loud. I like the PS Vita because it's more of a legacy console. Like Riku-san said, you could play PSP games, Mega Man Legends, all that.
That's how I'm getting through all of these Final Fantasies 1 through 6, all on my Vita. I played.
Yeah, and I think RPGs are just overall better on a handheld than they are console.
Yeah, completely agree with that.
But I think another reason why the Vita just kind of fails is that it's just not very appealing as a console. Like, there is a library there, but it's not advertised very well. The system itself, the design.
A long time ago.
It's the
It's 'cause
memory
Sony-
problem as well.
Sony tried to put console games on a handheld device. It wasn't going to work.
It was before its time.
Yeah, Uncharted and Killzone are not games people are really like graphical showcases on the PS4 that people are really trying to play on a handheld. Those aren't the type of games you want to make for that type
Granted, from a graphical standpoint, those 2 games still hold up on the Vita.
Yeah, but I'm just saying those are like major powerhouses meant to display the console's graphics, not so much handheld.
Yeah, but you remember when the Vita first came out, that's what Sony was advertising it as, console, full-blown console on the go, which obviously they failed at because
they honestly got sued for that, I think.
And
Really?
They got some type of lawsuit for that.
Yeah, but that's console on the go was basically PSP too, because you also had like Battlefront and Need for Speed and Gran Turismo and Power Stone and all other kinds of stuff.
What, on the PSP?
Yeah.
If you look at the sales between the PSP and the Vita, the PSP sold if you compare to the DS, then it didn't sell as good. But compared to other platforms, the PSP sold great. The Vita
Did it?
didn't, and all the people who didn't get the Vita, at least friends of mine who said they weren't picking it up, it was because of the memory. They were like, "This memory's too expensive. Why would I buy this?"
So let me talk about the memory here thing, because I know a lot of people always bring up the memory thing.
Mhm.
First of all, yeah, it's expensive. I understand that. But how
Yeah.
many times are you paying for this memory?
Oh, come on, Riku-san.
No. I mean, like for me, I did the
I'm
same
just gonna
thing.
throw this out there.
I have a
I paid
64
for my
memory card.
64
You only have
gigabyte
to
memory
pay
card.
$200 once.
No, it's come on now.
I
Okay,
didn't
sure.
even
I think I paid 80 for it, but that was
didn't
4 years ago. How much money
Yeah,
have I made
but
within
Not
4
everyone's
years?
gonna do that. A lot of
But
people.
I
four
know,
years
no.
ago-
I understand.
But 4 years ago, wouldn't you have rather spent that $80 on something else instead of a memory card?
Like
No,
two
because
games?
because today all of the games on my Vita, it's still giving me use. Today,
I
I'm
mean,
still playing my Vita. I got my money's worth.
I mean, my 64 gigabytes.
How many games do you have on your Vita?
Over 30 or 40.
Okay, so that's not that many. That's
Really?
not
That's
that
not a
many.
lot. I think for a handle, that's a lot.
And it's kind
For
of a lot.
Vita, for Vita, it may be a lot, but
Is this
like when I
including
collect,
PS1 stuff too, or is this just like exclusively Vita?
It's a combination of both. I
So
delete
that's
some
not
stuff from
physical-
Vita there also.
so well, I was mainly talking about like your physical titles.
I think he said he got rid of his physical
Yeah,
titles.
like I said, I only bought 3 physical titles ever.
Mhm.
Unit 13, Rayman, Origins, and Dinosaurs Next. Everything else I bought was digital.
For me, it was only one. I just got Persona 4 Golden, and that was it. Everything else was digital.
That's all you really need.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so I'll see about that Vita talk. Well, I think we're gonna move on to the next topic.
Wait, before we move on, Riku-san, can you at least admit that 3DS is better than Vita?
In every way.
No,
The
I will not
3D,
admit
the
that.
3DS is, and see, this is
Especially not from a technical standpoint.
This
no,
is
Well,
you're
yeah,
what
right.
I'll give hardware to Vita, of course.
Not
but-
really.
this
I'm
is
with Riku-san on this one. They're just way better JRPGs on the Vita. I'm
what?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. I think
No, but for me,
after
That sounds insane. What are you?
after recently getting a 3DS and getting into its library, I will definitely say they are equal.
Here's
Oh
what I
my-
Well, if
Here's
you
what-
count JRPGs on the
No.
Vita and you count them as JRPGs on the
Here's what I've always said, man. It doesn't matter how many good games you have on a platform. If you don't know how to market that, advertise it, and show it off, nobody's gonna care.
Like,
Because look at
and-
the PS3 compared to the 360. Even though the PS3 technically has most of what the 360 has, plus all the other RPGs and third-party titles and whatnot, people prefer the 360 to this day.
True.
Here's what I gotta say to that. As far as you saying advertising and all that stuff, I'm only talking about myself as
Yeah,
far
just
as what
speaking from a
I was.
personal level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
So as far as everything that interests me on the Vita versus everything that interests me on the 3DS, it's equal for me right now. If it was better, trust me, I would let you know.
What games do you
We're
play on the
including the
3DS?
remasters, right? We're including Final Fantasy X remaster, Persona 4
Yeah.
Golden. We're
I'm considering everything that's on the Vita. If you can play it anywhere else at a better version, I'm talking about everything that's on it, regardless of that, versus everything that's on the 3DS, regardless if you could play that anywhere else. Also.
If you
Yeah,
had to like
fine.
say what games you play
I
on the
don't know.
3DS
I
and
don't
the
know about
Vita,
Say what?
if you had to choose, like, say which games you play the most on the 3DS and the games you play the most on the Vita, which games would that be?
Which games? What do you mean? What do you mean? Which games?
Okay, like for example, my most played
Which
game
games
on
did you
the
put the most time into on the Vita?
correct and on the 3DS.
Oh well, damn, that's probably Persona 4 Golden. I put almost 300 hours into that shit.
And on the 3DS was what?
Well, I recently got my 3DS, so I haven't really digged into it, but that would have to be Chrono Trigger.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, so
That's
you didn't have?
that's-
Wait, you didn't
that's-
have an original DS?
I had original DS when it first came out to play Pokemon Diamond,
Mhm.
and then I got rid of it.
Oh, okay. So you didn't play Chrono Trigger before then, but I mean, like, look at the 3DS library, man. You got Bravely Default.
Oh no, I'm
Project
getting. Oh no,
Rust,
trust me, I'm getting into all of them.
Fire
I'm getting
Emblem,
into all of
Fire
those.
Emblem Awakening.
I got all of those already
Echoes.
in my possession,
Guys,
bro.
guys, we have to move on.
Yes, he is. He's right.
We
He's right.
we do.
Like,
He's
come
right.
on, people. I know it's
Let's move
important
on.
and all stuff, but Wow, we could split this up into another podcast. So
Sure.
The next topic
We
I'm gonna
will-
The
we-
portable podcast.
we return to that one day, I'm pretty
Wii
sure.
U better than Vita.
Yo,
Oh, yeah,
shout out to
that-
Nightmare for getting us on track. I appreciate you, Nightmare.
Like,
Appreciate
come
you.
on. Come on, this will end up
Mega
in
Man
a
11?
JoJo reference, I tell
Mega Man
you.
11.
All right. So let's go on to E3. E3 is around the corner. We got all these leaks coming out for E3. What are the games? You can keep it outside of JRPGs if you need to. What games are you guys most looking forward to appearing at E3? For me personally, I want to see Kingdom Hearts. I want to see the release date for Kingdom Hearts if possible. Anything on Final Fantasy VII would be great. But the only real game I want to see at E3 is not even a JRPG. It's Borderlands 3. If
Oh,
it's
please.
somewhere in development, I'd be so freaking happy.
Why?
I love Borderlands 2. That's why. Borderlands
Really?
2 is my shit. I must have played Borderlands 2 at least 10 times.
Okay, does anybody else get Borderlands in here? Because I thought those games were like.
I liked it.
I enjoy Borderlands 1 and 2.
I
didn't
also
play
maybe
any
it's
of the
just
spin-offs.
a you thing. That's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I burnt out on Borderlands.
If I've only played, like I said, I've only played 1 and 2. I never played any of the spin-offs or that dumb Telltale game. Even though I heard it was good, I don't care for it. If you've only played Borderlands 1 and 2 when they released, and you like Borderlands, you should be like hungry for another Borderlands by now.
You
But
got
if you-
Borderlands
if
on
you-
the. Oh, I was gonna
Okay.
ask. You got Borderlands on the Vita, Riku-san?
No, like I said, I played it when it first came out, so the PS3 version, platinum.
I have it on the Vita because that's how much I love Borderlands 2.
I don't know
Well,
how
completely
you-
know shit. I don't know why I got it.
Yeah, I heard that version was trash.
I literally, I was on vacation and now I was sitting inside the motel because we were waiting to go out to a party. But I took the Vita with me and I turned on Borderlands 2 and I was literally getting dizzy because of how terrible the frame rate would stutter.
The only first person shooter you should be playing on the Vita is Killzone Mercenary.
I believe, that's actually
Borderlands is on the Vita?
Yeah.
Okay,
It was gonna get canceled, but then people were like, "Yeah, no, bring it out." They're like, "Okay," and then they freaking gave it.
So native 15 frame rate, 40
Yo,
native speed.
literally, you're right. Native 15 frame rate. I'm not even lying on that.
I heard
It's
it was
fucking
fucking
terrible.
terrible.
It's not good.
I don't even know why they. Yeah.
I'm very proud of my PC version.
No, if they showed us Borderlands 3, I would be hyped with you, bro. Because, like I said, I haven't played it since the PS3 release. It's been a while for me.
So, what other games everybody else is looking forward to? Blandrew, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
I want to see Monolith Soft's next game.
Please.
I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what Monolith has to do.
Yeah,
just-
they said their next game was about like mechas and dragons and stuff. I want to see
Sounds
what
interesting.
they're doing with that.
Sounds
like a weird mix of Panzer Dragoon and Xenoblade. It's weird.
I'm all for it.
Yes,
Oh,
it's not a bad thing.
Okay, Pin, what are you most looking forward to this E3?
Well, the only thing that comes to the top of my head that's not Assassin's Creed, because we already know we're expecting an Assassin's Creed game from Ubisoft.
Didn't they
but-
announce one,
Odyssey, though?
like recently,
but-
Odyssey or something like that.
Oh
Mario
yeah,
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, yeah.
but
Everything's getting leaked.
basically the main game I want to see, and to be honest, it's the only game I really want to see. Like the rest of the show is kind of meaningless to me. Sure, I'll watch it, but Kingdom Hearts 3, I think
Okay.
that goes for a lot of people.
I think we
Um,
will get the release date.
Yeah,
2022.
don't even.
Yeah, Blake, what are you most looking forward to this E3?
I am not gonna lie, Smash Bros. 5. I need this in my life. I need it now.
All right, Q, what are you looking forward to?
Who's your most wanted newcomer for that game?
Most wanted newcomer. I'm not a Ridley fan. I'm not about to be like, guys, Ridley, put him in the
Good.
game. No. I need
Travis.
me Pyra and Mithra, not Rex. Keep him away. Rex is staying in my game. I don't like Rex. Keep Rex away from my game. If you play Xenoblade 2, you know why. Don't put Rex anywhere near my Smash game. Pyra and Mithra at the beginning of Xenoblade 2, they fight better than Rex does throughout the entire game.
Wait, well, what?
Well,
They
you
can
got
fight better on their own. All right, who let this 10-year-old
Wait,
Booty this nice?
Wait,
all right?
you gotta slow down.
And people wonder why I'm not interested in Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
You
But
gotta slow down on that, man. Pyra and Mithra are always getting knocked out somewhere. Getting
Because
tossed in
they're
the
trying to keep that man alive.
Yeah, but who went and saved them to be? Oh god damn it!
Save them. He had
Who
no
went
other
and
choice.
saved them.
jeez, I can't wait to get into the Xeno series because sounds fun.
Like the wild ride.
So yeah, Q, what are you looking forward to this E3?
What am I looking for this E3? For most of the publishers that I'm interested in, I know what they're bringing this year, except one, and that's Level 5. I know what everyone else is bringing. So Level 5 is the only publisher I don't know what they're bringing. And so I'm curious to what they'll bring. I mean, maybe a new Inazuma 11, maybe something else. I don't know.
Fantasy Life.
No, maybe no Fantasy Life. Maybe Ni no Kuni on the Switch. I'll take Ni no Kuni on the Switch. But I'm curious as to what Level 5 will do this year. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed on them.
Okay, all right, cool. Ghost, what are you looking forward to?
I was like 14 when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced. That game needs to come out already.
He's not wrong.
That and I'm hoping Capcom with recent releases and stuff, Mega Man collections, Street Fighter collections. I hope we get like a Capcom versus SNK or Marvel versus Capcom type of collection.
I mean, after they screwed up the last one, I think that's in order.
They said their next collection was a Phoenix Wright for the Switch.
Oh, dude, that'd be dope.
I'm pretty sure the fandom will still be enraged because we're not getting what they want.
I want a physical copy of it though, because I have the 3DS collection. I spent about 100 hours on that alone.
I've never played
And I thought it was a really good series of games, at least the first 3. I'd like to have them on the Switch. So
I have nothing against that, but I know what Capcom stands on the franchise is and on physical media for that franchise. So I'm not sure if you're getting what you want, but hey.
I love how when it comes to Capcom, we don't even ask for new stuff. It's just like
Please
collections
bring it
of
back.
old
Yeah,
stuff.
that is pretty funny.
because they can't make
right?
good new
Yeah.
games.
Yeah,
It's
we have no faith. We have
it's
no
like-
faith in their future. Just
It's
remake.
like I want to know the poison I'm getting, and it's just whenever Capcom tries something new, it burns up in flames.
I mean,
like-
if
They're like, yeah, of course we want the old stuff because we're not sure what we should think about the new
Yeah,
stuff.
Capcom versus SNK3. Ew, no, give me Power Stone 1 and 2 online.
though. Street Fighter 6 is gonna happen though.
Jesus, I think the only
Damn, we're not even finished with Street Fighter 5 at this
Oh,
point.
sure. They're still
so-
releasing DLC for 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also the worst kind of. It's also the worst kind of DLC because it's apparent because that's the only way how you get the balancing patches as far as I
What?
understand
You
it.
have to pay for balancing?
Yes.
yeah, just like in
All right.
just like
Just
in
like in
Arc
the good
System
days.
Works. Even in Arc System Works games, you're technically paying for balances, like Xrd, Revelator, all that stuff. And nobody ever calls them out for anything. I need.
Yeah, I think they're a company.
Call them
That's
out,
the
I'm sorry.
point. But they're a smaller company. That's why they are not called out for that most of the time. But I agree, it's not necessary anymore. If we have an engine, just patch the bitch and they'll release some DLC. That's fine with me.
I think the only games in the past 10 years that Capcom I've even bought from Capcom was Sengoku Basara games and Monster Hunter World.
Oh, Monster Hunter World's a good one.
Oh, yeah, I
In
forgot
the
about
past
Monster
10
Hunter.
years, I think those are the only 2 that come to mind.
Weren't they supposed to be making a Resident Evil 2 remake?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
somewhat.
yes they
I'm
were.
not
They
sure.
were. I actually
What
forgot about
happened with that?
I actually forgot about that because it was after the collection that released on PS4 and Xbox One recently. What was it, like a port of the Zero on GameCube or whatever?
I thought they announced it at like one of the Tokyo Game shows a few years back.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
They never showed a trailer though.
because they're not even in production with that game, probably. So Nightmare, I don't think we got to you. What are you looking forward to this E3?
Not really anything. I'm one of these people who thinks that these kind of game conventions are always disappointing, no matter what you're saying, because I don't believe in hype. I'm just interested in the carnage most of the time. You know, I want to see how people explode when they're revealing something new. I think whenever Bethesda something reveals, it's like, oh my god, my balls just busted. You know. It's like, come on, show me what the next Elder Scrolls game will be. I will see the hype no matter if I buy this game or not. It's like, come on, re-release Skyrim another time. I'm pretty sure there's some consoles you ignored.
Skyrim for the Apple Watch.
Come on, give me Skyrim for the Atari Jaguar.
The balls on Bethesda. The balls on Bethesda to release that game again at $60. It's insane.
I don't know who thought that. Was that Bethesda's or Nintendo's fault that it's released at $60? Because Nintendo stuff, they always re-release shit at $60.
I think Nintendo only keeps their stuff at a certain price, and everyone else gets fucked. Like Mario Rabbids goes on sale regularly for like $25.
That's at least good.
All right. I think we got everybody for the E3 predictions. Did anybody not go?
I don't think I did.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, bro.
As far as E3, honestly, over the past couple of years, I've been disappointed by E3, but I have no one but to blame but myself. You know, me running at E3. When's the next video? Let's fucking go. So I'm kind of dead on the inside when it comes to literally anything that they can show me. My expectations are at an all-time low when it comes to E3. I'm looking forward to see what they show because it's probably going to impress me because, like I said, my expectations are down in hell right now.
I mean, to be fair, E3 hasn't really been that spectacular since like 2009.
But do you guys think the reason for that would be because the rise of the internet and leaks and shit like that?
A lot of the stuff that's leaking is boring anyways.
It's not even that. It's just like the presentation, you watch it, and it's like the same thing for like 3 years on end. Like, how many years did we see God of War?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Last of Us
this year.
Last of Us 2 hasn't had any new developments for like 3
If we don't see
4
Last of Us 2
years?
gameplay, this freaking Christ.
I'm just interested what the gimmick for the new Call of Duty game this time around is.
It's Battle Royale.
They already
They already showed the trailer for that and everything. They're probably going to show us more gameplay. Jesus fucking Christ. See, and you wonder why my expectations are in hell right now.
I actually want to talk about that, but I want to move on to another topic real quick. Everybody's good on their E3 predictions.
I mean, I predict Microsoft is going to show a car this year.
I think Microsoft is, unless Microsoft is like announcing a new console or something, they're gonna have a pretty weak E3.
Yeah, I think this is do or die for Microsoft now.
Yeah.
The Xbox One X, but it comes with a car.
The Xbox One X is a car.
A real
car. Portable gaming just got stepped up.
I think the only thing that Xbox can do that can surprise me, actually 2 things. 1, revive and bring back Blinks and put it on the level of a Mario Odyssey.
Bring back what?
Okay.
Blinks the
Next
time
one.
sweeping cat. Let's fucking go.
Okay.
These are things that are obviously never going to happen. What do
You already have Super Lucky's Tale. What more do you want?
See, and that's the problem. They tried to advertise a Super Lucky's Tale to combat against Mario Odyssey, and we saw how that went. Blinks is your hero, Microsoft. You want a Super Mario? There he is. But you're not going to do it.
They have
Second thing.
What do they need? Blinks.
They have Banjo.
I don't think
It's like a combination of Mario and Prince of Persia. What do you mean? Anyway, the point is that or Scalebound, which ain't gonna happen either.
No.
Scalebound comeback, baby. Remake Scalebound.
I'm
You make Platinum Games. We got a new developer. Scalebound belongs to us. We're releasing it.
But who would you want
Things
to?
are gonna happen. So like, here's
Who would you want to make Scalebound though?
I don't even know.
Bottle of sauce.
I'm telling you, man.
That's the problem.
Y'all don't believe me, but I'm telling you, Microsoft is intentionally trying to kill themselves in the console market. They don't know how to utilize any of their developers. What is it? Rare? Like, they're dead in the water. Just
Rare.
everybody's
It's a rare
dead.
they ever have a game.
Dang, that's a good one. I like that.
Okay. All right. Let's move on a little bit here to a general topic. Actually, Blandrew, I got this topic from your Save Point podcast. How important is it for you guys is a soundtrack in a JRPG?
Ooh,
Extremely important. That's like one of the pros to a JRPG to me.
Sound is an important thing anyway. It sets the tone. It's very important. I don't know why many games go with a very basic or boring soundtrack. Mostly because I think some games just.
Are we
want
talking about
movies.
exclusively in RPGs?
I think we're talking.
JRPGs,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me tell you. One of the worst soundtracks I've ever heard is definitely Nier Automata.
Oh shit!
What?
Oh shit! That's probably like the biggest shots fired.
Yeah, I like you.
I've heard in a while. That was like a top one.
Jesus,
I haven't heard it yet, so I can't say anything. But
I heard that's like one of the best things about the game was the sound.
Shadow, did you play the game?
Yeah, I played the game.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the soundtrack?
Yeah, real talk. I don't see the big deal about the soundtrack. I don't think it's bad, but I don't see the big deal.
if we want to talk about soundtracks in JRPGs that people hold to a high regard, and he's throwing a shot as big as that, I think I can do one that's bigger. I don't think that's a soundtrack in Chrono Trigger is as good as people.
Oh, thank you.
Let's go.
Oh man,
oh, the old boy got his stomach ulcers over this. I'm sorry. Shots fired. Top that.
take them down.
Top that.
All right, Loki, the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 soundtrack, ass. All right,
Stop.
No,
Stop. I'm tired. Are you one of those Xenoblade 1 guys?
No, I was a joke. I love the sound. The other soundtrack I didn't like from Xenoblade was Chronicles X on the Wii.
Oh,
that got real bent out of shape real fast.
I haven't played X, but I was listening to some of that. You know, it was okay.
It's good. The hub world music.
I like it.
Okay, do you like the hub world theme from like the main city?
Yes, I do.
You are on track.
Yeah, I definitely like it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna listen to that when I get out of here.
but as far as like Nier Automata or whatever, I was playing it and I was trying to force myself through it, but I thought it was like one of the most pretentious games I've ever played.
This is coming from a guy that thinks Persona 5 soundtrack is incredible.
Yes. Yeah,
Persona 5 soundtrack is incredible.
It is good.
I actually really do like Persona 5.
I thought it was, but I thought Nier was just incredibly fucking pretentious because here you got this game about robots and people exploding ships and shit, and you got opera music playing in the background, and everybody thinks it's like the most gorgeous thing.
Hold up, so disco in Persona 5 is fitting?
That's the thing. I liked Persona's music for its music, but as a JRPG music, I don't like it.
Look at the locations you're visiting. You're going to casinos. You're going to casinos and robbing places. It makes sense why there's
going into battle with dance music. That's what's going on right now.
That's always been the Persona.
That's why I accept it in Persona. That's why I like it. But as a JRPG, like songs, they just don't.
They're out of place.
They.
It's kind of weird. This is one of the things that I always have a problem with these kind of things. The main battle themes just don't fit many times, I don't have a problem with most of Persona's background music, but this is one of the few things I'm not okay with.
My biggest problem with battle theme is that it takes way too long to kick in. It takes forever to kick in.
Which one?
The one from 5, Last Surprise. It takes years to kick in.
I'm not gonna lie, that had to grow on me a little bit. When I listened to Reach Out to the Truth, it was instantly just like that. I loved it. Last Surprise, it had to grow on me. I love it now, but I wasn't too crazy about it when I first got into it.
It's also interesting how less and less these games are interested in using vocals in their background music other than their main battle themes. Because I remember back in Persona 3 when they had basically in every background some vocals everywhere, It's weird.
I don't think I would have liked that. I only played 4 and 5. But I'm going to throw this out here. Nihon Falcom.
You haven't played Persona 3?
No, I haven't.
Persona 3 has like the best ending out of all of them.
I haven't, and I probably will never get to Persona 3 because I'm kind of burnt out on Shin Megami Tensei games as a whole.
Now,
But,
what if they remade it though for PS4?
But don't
Maybe.
play the
maybe.
don't play the PSP version.
Oh.
Play the
Play the PSP version.
I got one person telling me to, and one person telling me not.
Wait,
If it comes to PS4, I'll play it.
play the
I say make your own decisions on that. There is basically no wrong answer to this, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
What's the
no
problem
right
there?
answer to
Like I
this.
said right now, as far as anything Shin Megami Tensei, I am not interested right now.
Damn.
Yeah. The
Why
whole
did you-
Talk to him.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. Let it be.
I guess that's what happens when you put 300 plus hours, well, 400 plus hours, well, yeah, almost 400 hours in Persona 4 Golden and 200 hours.
still like
Pretty
300
close.
hours early.
Yeah, it's like 300, 400, somewhere, like 398. But the point is, I'm burnt out of those right now. I want to play
Okay,
some PS1 games.
So, but we agree. Soundtrack important. Yes.
yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Good.
Really
Move on.
important.
Hold up. Okay,
What?
first, let me say that there's just so much salt, just like right now because of all this Persona stuff. Like one of the things for me about Persona music is like it isn't what you'd expect in a JRPG, but like it's one of those things that makes it unique. But for me, like a bad soundtrack's not going to ruin the game for me unless it's really bad. But it sort of helps me gauge, not really gauge, but like it makes it more memorable for me if I really
Yeah.
like the
I had a
soundtrack.
feeling of that, yeah.
So it's like, oh, if I like the soundtrack, I'll think it's probably a much better game. But if it's like mediocre, I'm just like, I mean, it's okay.
Okay. Okay.
Nah,
okay.
I just think with the soundtrack, the only thing that really matters to me is the battle music. I really have to like the battle music. If
And
I'm
Neon Falcon kills it every time.
going through battle every 10 seconds and I don't like the battle theme, I'm going to turn the game off. You know, it's going to seem boring to me.
Like I told
Okay,
Richard to the
okay.
trick one more time, it's over.
I love that song. I can never get tired of that song.
Hypothetical music question. Picture Katamari games with Silent Hill music.
Oh, that'd be a little creepy. That'd be really creepy.
I know.
Well, it would
Just
it would
think.
probably sound like you just turn the music off and just put the sound effects on full blast. Because
Like-
you're rolling around all the ball and it's just like all this metal and shit you picked up.
I tell you, the King of the Universe looks even weirder when you look at this.
Let's just make it a general rule that everyone in the world must love Staring Down Eternity from Blue Dragon.
I don't think did I play Blue Dragon? I don't think
Never
I
Didn't
did.
play Blue Dragon?
I had a
I want to
360.
punch
I didn't have a
you.
360.
I
So
did not. It didn't look like a game that was worth my time, to be honest.
dang.
I feel you, Shadow.
Okay. Real quick, Blandrew, you love the soundtrack for Nier Automata?
Yeah, I think that team does a really good job with this music. It's like the main thing. It's the main reason I got into Nier in the first place, because the game looked kind of just whatever. But when I heard the music, it's what really made me want to give it a try.
That's me in Dragon Guard 3.
Okay. And Riku, what about the music in Final Fantasy VII? What do you think? I'm saying right now, this better be positive.
So I don't think the music in Final Fantasy VII is bad. It is good.
Oh.
But
Final Fantasy VII's music is like one of the most memorable parts about
It
it.
is-
Like,
exactly.
I don't think, oh
There's
my
a difference-
god,
for me, there is a difference between cool and amazing.
dude! Let the Battles Begin is like one of the best
Yeah.
battle themes of all
You
time.
throwing names out to me. I don't know the names of the
The
songs.
main battle theme.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I said, memorable. But Final Fantasy 1 through 6, I thought a lot of the songs in 1 through 6 are better than 7's.
Nah, I can't agree with that.
Now, I think 7 is better than Chrono Trigger's music, but I think 7's is good, but I don't think it's amazing. I don't see why people are flipping out over it. I haven't heard everything yet. I haven't heard this Sephiroth theme song or, a couple of the other
Wait, you've
ones.
never heard it?
I've heard the beginning, but I haven't heard the entire thing.
Don't you play Kingdom Hearts?
I played Kingdom Hearts 1, but I only heard it once. So
Okay, I just have
So
a question.
it's always it's basically always playing in the background in my head whenever I watch some stupid anime. It's always like gay, 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 super gay. I don't know why.
So I just have a question for you then. Which Which Final Fantasy from 1 and 6 has your favorite soundtrack then?
13.
It's right now, it's a tie between Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, I respect that.
It's only a tie between half the series.
Just say 6.
It's really, I'm really like, okay, 4 and 6. 4 and 6.
Just say 6.
Yeah,
the only
Terra's
one.
theme is incredible.
Dude,
That's one of my
freaking Gomez's theme song.
Let's
Oh my
just.
God,
I mean,
no.
dude, if I would say Dancing Man,
And then-
alone just
and then-
kills everything there.
Final Fantasy 4's world music, phenomenal.
Doesn't Final Fantasy IV have Theme of Love?
Like I said, I don't know the name, so
Okay. Shadow.
Okay. All right. So it always comes back to this on this podcast.
God.
I always gotta bring it up. Do you guys think Kingdom Hearts 3 is definitely coming out this year?
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I
I
do.
mean, at this point, they have to, I guess.
I low-key don't want it to.
It's not even a have to. It's what I'm seeing. Like, if you've seen like the leaks for it, like the game looks basically complete at this
Yeah, they're
point.
showing too much of it for it to
They'll
not come
find
out
a
this
way.
year.
It will come out this year. It will come
Yeah,
out this
I
year.
mean, because all the people that was working on 15, now they focused on Kingdom Hearts 3. Now we're finally seeing shit.
Wait, I have a question. What do you guys see in Kingdom Hearts?
Nostalgia at this point, because I don't see anything with the story anymore.
I still haven't played 2, so
nostalgia.
yeah. That's come I said.
I just want to see it crash and burn at this point.
'Cause, like, I don't see a JRPG story about Mike Wazowski sounding all that sounding all that interesting.
But that's which is weird because you would think when it comes to JRPGs, that's one thing that people care about the absolute most is the story. Story can make or break any JRPG. But when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, like that rule gets thrown out the window every single time.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna say this though, Blandrew, you don't really have an affinity for Disney at all, do you? You're not really invested in Disney.
I like
movies.
Disney, but I just don't
I think
see.
people
I
play-
used to like Kingdom Hearts and Disney, but I just don't see the appeal of any of them.
Is it
As a game.
more of like a crossover game at this point?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
but-
you have to understand the Disney stuff is usually extremely disconnected from anything else. It has nothing to do with a stupid plot about Keyblades and Organization 13 and all of that crap. That has nothing to do with the Disney stuff. It's only part there because apparently they have this kind of deal. Yeah, we have to visit these Disney worlds and save them and relive some of the plot, but that's all that there is.
I'm gonna
And-
put it
and
like
on the
Nothing
top-
to do with that. So
and
if
on
you're a Disney fan, you're not getting your
And on the topic of Disney worlds in this game, I think these are like some of the
The
lamest
worst.
Disney worlds.
the worst one.
Lion King.
I just want to hear Buzz Lightyear throw some more shade.
Oh, dude, I saw the leaks for that. Like, oh my god, it felt like the cutscenes were going on forever, dude. Like I was seeing like 7-minute cutscenes between Buzz Lightyear, Woody, and Sora. It's just too much now.
I just thought the whole scene with Rex was kind of funny though. It's like, I've seen you in the game before. I couldn't get past Bahamut.
I think Kingdom Hearts as I guess a story or plot line or whatever pretty much got thrown out the window with Dream Drop Distance. I think that's where everything just hit the fucking fan.
Maybe if
Got
they
thrown out the
reboot it or
window with
something.
Chain of Memories.
No, don't reboot it. It'll take it forever.
Chain.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? It's gonna come out. It's gonna be a really good game. There's not gonna be any problems with it. Basically, we're not gonna have another Final Fantasy 15, are we?
I think it's gonna. I'm gonna.
There better
Say,
not be any
I'm
problems.
gonna say. I'm gonna say it right here, right now. I think it's gonna be the worst of the main 3 titles. I definitely.
I can
Okay.
I can see it being a good game, but I think there are way too many people that are hooked to the nostalgia that is Kingdom Hearts 2, that even if Kingdom Hearts 3 is a better game than Kingdom Hearts 2, they won't say that.
Hell, I think Kingdom Hearts 2 was weaker than Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah, I don't
mainly
think-
just because of
I don't
this.
know.
Mainly just because of all the extra stuff in the story that you would have needed to know from Chain of Memories to begin with.
Well,
That's
I'm
when
only
all the complicated shit started
well,
happening.
well
with
here's the
story.
thing. Like I said, as far as story, people throw that point out the window when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. A lot of
Not
the Kingdom Hearts
those.
fans, that I love Kingdom Hearts 4, one of the main reasons is because of the gameplay. And apparently Kingdom Hearts 2, I haven't played it yet, but apparently Kingdom Hearts 2's gameplay is what people love the most if they had to say one thing that they like the most about Kingdom Hearts 2.
I'd say
I'd agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. The battle system is pretty good.
It's just mashing X though.
But it's like
But it's the way you
gotta
mash
be
it.
good. Try to do that against Lingering Will, and see what happens.
that's the thing, though. Like, most of the battles you can breeze through up until like, unless you have like the the HD remasters or whatever, like the organization battles, the Lingering Will, the secret remnants, and all that stuff. Those are like the difficult battles that you pretty much have to be prepared for. You have to have learned something out of the combat system by that point that you played.
I think there are 2 games that when it comes to them having their story and their gameplay, the gameplay people consider so good that they give the story a pass every single time an installment of this game comes out, and that's Kingdom Hearts and Bayonetta.
Yes, I can at least see. I'm a Bayonetta fan, and I can admit this with Bayonetta.
Bayonetta has a terrible story.
I mean, you killed
That's what I'm saying. Just the same thing with Kingdom Hearts. They always still give the game high regard, even though everybody knows that the stories are not good, but the gameplay is really good.
First of all, if you're paying attention to the story of Bayonetta and not Bayonetta herself, you're doing it wrong.
Well, if I didn't want to pay attention to the story, I wouldn't buy the game to begin with. I'd just go online and look something up.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes to a game, the story can be as bad as it wants, but if it has a good story and I'm not enjoying the gameplay, I'm not going to finish the game.
Yeah, see, and that's interesting how it doesn't work the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because for me personally, I think story is more important in an RPG than actual gameplay.
Oh yeah, definitely an RPG, which is why I'm so.
This is what keeps bothering me.
Not really.
This is what keeps bothering me. People are saying that the story matters more in a game now when it comes to RPGs rather than the gameplay. And I've been hearing that a lot recently with Xenoblade 1 now, and it's just starting to bother me.
I would say it still applies heavily to turn-based RPG games and strategy RPG games and tactical RPG games, but action RPG games,
Oh god.
when their gameplay can reach such creativity, that rule starts to get thrown out the window. Like Kingdom Hearts.
For me personally, it's always about gameplay over story any day of the week.
Yeah.
That's why I buy games to play them. If that was the case, I just play a whole bunch of visual.
Play them. No,
That's what's bothering me, because the same people that'll criticize games like Last of Us or God of War are defending only having a story in an RPG. They don't care about the gameplay, and that's just bothering me.
I think it's different.
I think story can break a game for me. Like, I probably would be far more engrossed in Bayonetta and willing to get Nintendo consoles to continue to play Bayonetta if the story was as good as the gameplay.
It's definitely
that wouldn't
gameplay
bother
for
me.
me. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about Ni no Kuni 2's story besides the whole beginning of the game. Other than that, I'm like, what?
Haze. It's just a haze.
Yeah, it's a story. Matters.
There's a fox and there's a swordsman character or
Something
something.
about making a castle.
For me,
I'm basically playing Dark Cloud again.
For me, if you want
Okay.
comparison,
Yeah.
if you want comparison, watching an anime that has real good animation, but the story is trash. Fairy Tail.
High School DxD.
Fairy Tail is one of the worst.
There's other
Okay,
reasons
let me
to
not
watch
start on that.
DxD.
Please
I'm just
not.
saying. I'm just saying as an
Move on.
example.
Let's move on. I think this is a
Hey,
can of
no,
worms
thank
we
you.
opening
Fairy
someday.
Tale-
Okay, but real quick, he's not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not wrong, but still.
Okay.
Continuing. Yes.
All right. Let's see. It's something that was fairly recent. I don't know if anybody honestly wants this, but Persona 4 Golden seems to be coming maybe to the PS4. Does anybody really care or really want to play that game again on PS4?
I mean,
I
I
wouldn't
played
mind.
my versions. I think we're done with that.
Is it
For
coming
the Switch,
Is
I'll
it coming
play.
to Switch?
I'd buy it
Oh
again.
my god.
Yeah.
If it's a Switch release.
I played on Switch.
And you already know, even though with with a big ass backlog, that'd still be the first thing I'd play.
I don't know why anybody would be against it. I'd buy it over.
I'm always for more
All
options.
right, so I'm a huge Persona fan. I love Persona 4. I love Persona 4 Golden. I may buy it, but I'm definitely not gonna play it.
You're a liar.
All it takes is them to add one more busty chick with a social link.
I mean, how many times have you bought Valkyria Chronicles over? I know you bought that game like 3 times at least.
I want to say 3 times. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
and
you played through it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. Valkyria Chronicles is not that long when it comes to Persona. I mean, Persona's gonna take like a good
2 weeks, maybe.
What if they remade it with the Persona 5 engine?
Then I would be all over it.
If they have the engine running,
I think Persona 3 with the Persona 5 engine would be dope.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
I think that would make it like probably the best title if they were to do that.
I don't know, but it definitely needs a
Three, I still want the fatigue system in there.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I see a lot of people complaining about Persona 3 and you got the fatigue system, you got the Reaper following you around, Tartarus is lame. That like, where did all this shit come from? I never
Tartarus is kind of lame.
Only having
it's
one
the same
The
thing
level
as
design,
Persona
yeah.
4.
No, not.
I know Persona 4 had themes, but when you play the themes of them, it's the exact same type of thing. To me,
let me ask
Yeah,
you
but
a
in
question.
Persona 4, there wasn't 200 floors of the same
Yes.
dungeon.
yes, but
the
it's
point.
all connected. It's all one dungeon. It's one.
Yes, and it's all randomly designed, and it's not really interesting. It has no flow. It's terrible. It's always the same.
Yo, real
if you
talk,
want to do
though?
always the same, it's not worth it.
Real talk, I was playing Persona 3. No one told me the Reaper was a thing. I left my game on, came back from the bathroom. I was dead, and this dude from hell was standing on my screen, and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh yeah, I should have told you, but I guess.
They do tell you that. I can sense death. You remember that shit?
I mean,
The pop-up.
I knew that it was there. I didn't have a problem with the Reaper. Fatigue was okay. My bigger problems come from more general gameplay elements, but we're not going to talk about that. Let's move on.
We gotta have.
I have to push this through. We want to keep this under 2 hours.
Oh, Shadow, take
hopefully.
control of your podcast, damn it.
Yeah, point there.
We're already at 2 hours. We barely
Yeah,
scratched the
about-
surface.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna run through these next couple of topics real quick. So Mega Man 11 was announced.
Yeah.
Wasn't that announced a long time ago?
Mega Man 11
They
was
just
announced
trailer.
this year, I think.
Oh,
It
what?
was announced back in like March, and then they just showed like a trailer off recently.
Which, you know, as I guess the biggest Mega Man fan out of here, I don't know if anybody else is really that big of a Mega Man fan. I think it looks all right. Like I've said countless times, I think that looking at the game, it kind of looks like the canceled Mega Man game, Universe or whatever, which was supposed to be like a Mega Man builder type of game.
Yeah, that game. Yeah,
It looks a
alright.
lot like that, and I think that Capcom was reusing assets. I can't prove that, but it feels like it. And overall, it looks okay. I'm not a big fan of the 3D aesthetic, and I guess voice acting is okay.
Kind of looks like Sonic 4 Episode 2, but Mega Man.
Wait, what I missed? What are you guys talking about? I just came back.
Mega Man 11.
Hmm.
What do you think about it, Blanger?
I think it looks great.
Yeah, I think it looks like I'm not the biggest mainline Mega Man fan. I'm more interested in the X series.
Let's go.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Mega Man X. Okay, what's your favorite Mega Man X game? Quickly.
X4.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Don't
It's
give it.
always X. You're always gonna get the answers X1 or X4. There's only the occasional person, that weird person, that's gonna say X5 or X6.
Hey.
Yes. Nobody cares about half of the titles in the series. Nobody even likes 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7 ain't worth that.
I liked 8 and Command Mission.
Yeah, I like
See,
Command
Command
Mission.
Mission.
Command Mission was actually
But
pretty cool.
Command Mission is my favorite, but I think the reason I like Command Mission is more on the fact that it's a good turn-based RPG game.
I'm telling you, like the
Yeah.
original series everybody will always talk about how Mega Man 2 is the best. Or
I think if I
3.
started from X1 through 4, I probably would have liked 4, and that would probably be my favorite. But the point is, I started from 5, so that's probably nostalgia, like liking 5, because I tried to go from 5 and then go backwards, and I was like, wait, I can't crouch in 4, and then a couple of other things. So I was just like, I like 5 more.
X4
I'm
was
sure.
definitely.
I'm sure if I started from 4 and then went, I'd probably be like you guys.
All right, so we also got a new Sonic racing game. If anybody got anything about that,
It'll be dope.
Yes,
It'll be
I don't.
amazing. It'll be amazing.
I like the fact that there is some sort of Sonic game out there that is apparently good.
Whoa,
So
whoa,
I-
whoa,
I-
whoa,
so-
whoa.
So, with that
Sonic
being,
Mania?
oh yeah, well, Sonic Mania too. But there is a lot of other than Sonic Mania and Sonic, these Sonic racing games. We're not going to talk about that, all right?
Okay, get
Yeah.
this Vita lover out of
Set
here.
up nightmares.
Okay, so we
I
also
don't.
really off topic from what the podcast is about. Fortnite is coming to the Switch.
Fuck
That
Fortnite.
might do some damage.
You.
Toss that in the trash.
Damn. Neo sales top 2 million.
Let's
Let's go.
Did that get ported to PC?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a new IP. That's good.
Okay.
How much did it sell on PS4? Or does anybody know that?
There are at least more than half of that.
Probably.
Okay.
The
Okay.
point is, it was a new
gamers
IP and it was
used-
beneficial to Team Ninja, and they're working on a sequel, and that's all good.
I mean, they need some new IPs. Believe me.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They can't.
Can't make Dead or Alive forever.
Nino 22 sold sales top over 900K.
That's nice, I guess.
Isn't that bad compared to the original though?
In the time frame, it's not that bad.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I don't see it passing the original.
Yeah.
We see about that.
Dude, I was walking into a Walmart like the other day, and I swear to God, I saw like a rows upon rows of collector's editions just sitting there.
I remember I tried to get the White Witch edition for the original, and that was sold out before the game even came out.
Yeah.
I think they even put like discounts on the collector's editions for the second game.
Okay. Star Ocean Amenities. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. That's coming to the West. It's a Star Ocean mobile game.
Hooray.
Star
I
Ocean.
can,
Star
I-
Ocean.
I can hear Shintai rage on
Is
to
he
my
a big fan of Star
continent,
Ocean?
man.
He's a big fan of Star Ocean, right?
No,
Yeah.
he's
He's a big
delusional. He's not a
He's,
fan.
Yeah,
let me- okay,
loves Star
are we
Ocean
gonna
5.
ride Star Ocean 4? Can we?
I just have to say one thing. There's a high chance that it'll be better than Star Ocean 5.
Ooh, shots
Oh, yeah,
fired.
definitely.
Can
Star
we-
Ocean 5 is
That's not hard to do, apparently.
Exactly.
consistent.
Was Star Ocean 5 worse than 4?
Yes,
We'll
it
say.
was.
Okay, so I don't understand people's connection with this series because Star Ocean 4 is like one of the worst PS3 purchases I ever made.
It just
It had horrible, annoying characters, voice
give you
acting.
that.
Yes.
I'll
The
give you
combat was completely mediocre.
Go back it up. Why? Explain yourself on that one.
The terrible voice acting?
No, the battle system.
Wait, what?
The
Sorry.
battle system.
The battle system, it was completely mediocre.
Wow.
It was basically like a Tails system where it felt very slippery. Like if you, how do I put it? When you're swinging like the sword or whatever, it feels like there's almost like a delay to it. It felt very archaic, very button mashing in a way to me.
That's the first time I'm actually hearing this. I really enjoyed Star Ocean Force battle system, especially with the blind sides. I thought they were pretty awesome, really cinematic. Comboing the combos, chaining the combos together, that was also pretty cool. So you're actually the first person I'm hearing that doesn't like Star Ocean.
Would you
Force
say
battle
the
system.
controls felt like tight?
I wouldn't say it felt tight. No.
Yeah.
Wait, Star
Definitely
Ocean?
not.
Yeah,
Ocean.
Star Ocean 4. Blandrew, like you've played a bit of the game, right? How did you feel about
I
it?
thought Star Ocean 4 was terrible.
Yeah. What about the combat though? Like how did it feel to you?
It felt noodly.
Yeah, it felt slippery.
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay. I wish I could confirm that, but whenever I try to get this game, I'm like, Star Ocean.
I bought it for
Star
$19.
Ocean actually about?
I bought it for like $19. I was still disappointed. But
I want-
another thing is like I don't know if you felt this either, Blandrew, but like actually looking at it kind of hurt my eyes, and that's not something that I say about a lot of games. I also said that about that DMC game that came out. You know, the
Yeah,
other
that one definitely
government.
hurt. I didn't feel anything with Star Ocean though.
Like it just it didn't look very good to me.
I want to get into Star Ocean, but I'm only interested in the first 3.
That's okay, I guess.
I heard
Yeah,
the third one was good.
The third one is good. Some people will tell you the third one is trash.
Shintai.
I keep on hearing the third one is the best.
Yeah,
Wait,
third
Shintai
one-
thinks the third one is trash.
That's what I was saying. I don't
Then it
know
must
why
be
you think
good.
Shintai is this big Star Ocean fan. He hates like the last 3 games in the series.
Hey, that's him. That's him. I don't agree with it at all.
It was weird because I do remember when Star Ocean 4 did come out, I did hear more negative things than positive. But now when they released that PS4 version, it feels like what people did with Final Fantasy 12. I heard when Final Fantasy 12 first came out, everybody hated that.
Yeah.
And now that the PS4 version came out, everyone's like, Final Fantasy 12 is amazing. What are you talking about? They're like, oh. So now, when it comes to Star Ocean 4, I'm starting to see the same thing happen.
Well, that's because we got Star Ocean 5 to compare it to, and Star Ocean 5 was such a train wreck that it makes us appreciate Star Ocean 4 just a little bit more.
And do you think that happened with Final Fantasy 12 in comparison to like 13 and 15?
No, I would not. I would say it's just because of the re-release, not because of other games in the series.
I think they improved on a bunch of the features in 12.
Yeah, I heard it's like faster or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can speed up the battles, and it makes it a lot more.
That sounds good.
Quicker.
I'm a little.
That's
I'm a
the
little
main reason I
interested when I
stopped
get
playing
that.
when it was on PS2 was because of how slow it felt to me.
Interesting.
Well, now we have a reason to buy it, maybe.
All right, so last topic I got here, quite possibly the best JRPG series out in today.
Oh.
Another hyperdimension net game is coming.
Third one this year. Let's go.
Oh God.
So what is it about this time?
I'm fucking around. It's not the best.
Tell me, what it is about this time? Last time we had an online game. What it is about this time?
I'm not sure exactly what it's about,
game.
but it's more of a old school type of setup. From what I'm seeing,
I feel like I want to give it a chance, but part of me is like, this is a series for lolly addicts and people who want to see thigh-high stalkings and oh my god! I just.
It is anime trash. We
This
can agree on
series is
that.
just so intoxicatingly. Oh god.
Okay,
it's
but
just
like,
not-
since we're
no.
on it, but why do you think it's like 18 games deep at this point?
I played the first one on PS3 back in like December of 2013 somewhere. I don't really remember what year, but oh my god, it's just like you're playing the game. You can't heal yourself with you gotta wait for like
Yeah, that's the first one. You can't hit
yeah.
No.
You have to have it refill or something. The maps are confusing. The combat's bad. You got the same 3 people repeating the same lines over and over again, ready to be inoculated and all that. What the hell?
Wait, what the fuck?
Yes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So why do you guys think they keep coming out with these games?
Because there's an audience for it, sadly.
Because just like Call of Duty, people are gonna buy it.
The series started actually as a parody series, and it had fairly okay writing for the time. But as I said, it's better to move on. I think they're only making this because they get money from it, but I don't know who's actually buying this crap.
This is NIS, right?
No, it's not. It's Idea Factory.
Oh, I thought it was
Okay, even worse.
Wasn't NIS involved in like
NIS published a few at the
Published it, yeah.
beginning.
Not anymore. They don't. It's Idea Factory. They do their publishing for the hyperdimensional
Yeah.
games. So yeah, it's it's on its own.
It was like some point after they remade the first 3. I think they switched it over.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing though is that like those games, they have people that buy them. That's basically it. It's people buy the games, and so they keep making them. If people stop buying it, it's like someone said, people buy Call of Duty, so Call of Duty sells. the same thing would happen to mention Neptunia games.
I don't
people-
understand.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
like-
when I was trying to get Shadow on Nier, and he was telling me he's spending $200 on collector's editions for Hyper.
We can confirm or deny this, okay?
See, I haven't bought a game of this series in a while, and I'm very, very satisfied with that decision. So
I
I'm
don't
pretty sure it will end at one point.
See, what bothers me is if y'all want the fan service and you want some quality, just go buy like a Sanran Kagura game.
Hey, there you
Oh,
go.
the Southern Kagura
Yeah,
games
Southern
are
Kagura.
amazing.
Southern Kagura is great.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Neptunia crossed over with Severin Kagura.
I'm
Yep, they
telling
did.
you that Hyperdimension Neptunia stuff, it's just lolly fetish, man. That's
It is
all
lolly
it is.
fetish.
Wait, hold on. Not everyone in Neptunia is a lolly.
Well, I mean,
Look at Noir. Noir, no, you see those? You see those
What about
thighs? I know
Vert?
you see those thighs.
Okay, I swear to
again,
God.
there's a market for it. And that's what it comes down to. As far as I'm concerned, when in regards to the Neptunia games, it's that I don't really fancy them much, but some people do. So I mean, if people like it, then cool. I don't have to buy it.
Okay, I just looked up this Noir character. You cannot tell me this is not a lolly character. She's
Whoa,
got pigtail.
whoa,
Put
God,
it- put it in the
I
link.
think
She's
you're
got
now having
I think
Put her
you're
in
now
the link.
disagreeing on
Put her in the
art
group chat
style.
link.
Come
Put her
on,
in the group
man.
chat link because I don't know what she looks like.
Hold on, give me a second. I'll put her like a nice
Yeah.
picture up on screen. Real quick.
We'll see.
Stay forward.
something out of a personal library of Shadowy Link.
He's pulling up his lolly folder.
Oh, come on,
That
man.
does not exist for
Now
me.
you're being mean. Now you're being mean.
I have to admit that Noah is lolly though. She is.
I'll keep it tame here.
Yeah, I've never
13.
played an Neptunia game. My
She
brother
has
just got the collection.
pigtails like a
on Steam.
12-year-old girl.
But here's the thing though, she wins because like Sundari, you know what I mean? Like
Cinderella best
I want to make this clear. I want to make this clear. For a 12-year-old girl, she has a lot of tits.
I mean, look at Yoko from Gurren Lagann.
Okay, first of all,
Wait.
she's 16, but second of all, look at. I mean, that's like saying like, okay, the Pokemon. You know what? Let me not even get into that.
No, please.
Look,
Don't elaborate on this.
let me not even get into that. Like, look at the Pokemon females. They're young. They have. I mean, it doesn't matter if they have.
Man, I don't care for
Shadow,
Pokemon
they
females.
still look like
I'm not dealing with that.
They still
dealing
look
with that.
like kids.
That's Japan, man. I don't care.
Here's the thing.
Look at Xenoblade X. Wasn't in there that was supposed to like they removed that in the American version or something?
Oh no,
Xenoblade-
she
Like, they
had
had
more risque attire in the Japanese release, but the Japanese release she was younger. And the American release, not only did they make her older, but they also cut all the skimpy stuff from her.
Shadow,
Here's the thing, though.
Shadow, you can't look at that and tell me that doesn't look like a 12-year-old girl or something.
Not really.
I mean,
No,
really
I'm
look-
not-
Look at there are cosplayers who cosplay like that, and they're not 12, but they look like the character.
I would say more 16. It definitely looks 16.
I would say bangable.
I would say since we're in our like 20s, we've forgotten what like.
Whoa! Speak for
12.
yourself, there, Riku.
Okay, I'm gonna speak for myself. In my 20s, I have forgotten what the
Yeah,
structure of the younger look.
Y'all are defending
Like
Kelsey.
16 and up.
Who
That's all I
plays their
remember.
JRPGs and said, "Here's what, you know what? I'm gonna check the age of the character first before I wife."
Before I
Who does that? Who does that?
Rule 34 first. Ask questions later.
I mean, there are some cultural differences for Japan. Only to give you an insight, Japan considers marrying very young to be a very important thing. So don't worry about it. It makes sense in context. They like that. Let them be. Let them be and date real girls.
That's not America though.
That's exactly it.
Appropriating.
When you date real girls, you choose an adult. But when you have a waifu, your waifu can be
Oh,
whatever.
dear God. Shadow,
Exactly.
to this topic, please steer this topic, Shadow. For the love of God. I can't keep
I'm
talking
sorry. I
about
find
this.
this really entertaining.
As far as that picture you put inside the group chat, I don't see anything wrong with it.
I agree. Beautiful.
All right, guys. All right, we're closing in on a two-hour mark. We're going to wrap this up right now. let's go out with the outros real quick. Blake, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. As always, thanks for having me on, Shadow. Definitely can't wait to be around next time. And yeah. Yeah, oh wait, yeah. Look for me. I can't English right now. You can find me everywhere at Westtown HD on YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, MSN Messenger, MySpace, you name it. Black people meet, let's get it.
Ghost, go ahead.
Thanks for inviting me on the podcast, Shadow. You can find me at The Living Ghost, that's with a 0, at twitter.com, and I'd like to be on more. And that's
Check out the Safe Point podcast.
Oh yeah, check out the Save Point podcast. That's a podcast me and Blandrew are on with a couple other people. Y'all might like that.
All right, and why don't you go ahead, Blandrew, as well?
Yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel at Blandrew. I got a video I'm trying to get out this week. Then I got Lost Child next week, so look out for that.
Ooh. Content.
Pit?
Thanks for having me on. Hopefully it's not another year and a half before I'm on here again. But you can find me at Pinstripe Paragon, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc., etc. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Nightmare.
It's Nightmare Alpha. You find me anywhere you want. I actually opened up a Pornhub account, by the way.
I saw that.
It's
Oh,
not
you're being
much,
serious.
but no,
Subscribe to him on Pornhub.
Google that if you want. I'm a proud man. I'm a proud man.
I'm with you there, man. I'm with you.
Oh my god. Q, go ahead, Q.
Please do.
I also have a Pornhub account,
Oh,
but I'm not gonna plug that here. Thanks again for having me on, and yeah, it was nice hanging out with you guys and chatting about JRPGs. I don't get to do that on my regular podcast as often, and yeah, you can find me at LP Guardian. That's Guardian.eu, pretty much everywhere, and on thebuttonsmashers.com. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
okay, and Riku?
I just want to do my closing statement by the Sonic Racer games may be good, but Sonic Riders is the definitive Sonic racing game.
Oh my god.
Okay, hold up.
Factual.
Okay, but
Just
Free
Sonic
Riders is
Riders
bad.
1.
Please
Yeah,
stop.
Free Riders was definitely bad. Sonic Riders 1 is the only one I'm defending.
They're all trash.
Stop. Sonic
We're
Riders
talking
is
about
amazing.
Sonic, not the
It's
Vita.
better than
Sonic
every
Riders
Mario
is
Kart game ever existed. Anyway,
What?
Riku-san 1, the only one out here. Leaving. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my stream that's going to happen in an hour, Final Fantasy 7. And thanks for having me on the show.
Alrighty, and of course, this is your JRPG enthusiast, Mr. JRPG, the JRPG God. Shadow Lee bringing you guys this podcast, and the views are trash.
Damn.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye bye.
Deuces.